Rise and shine, boys!
Morning.
Good morning, fellas.
Good morning.
Why did Spazzy call me?
Just wanted to say good morning, you know? He heard it from Florida. He was like, good morning.
Should I join his call and be like, Spazzy?
Nah.
You know, I'm gonna do that right now. Give me a second. Hey, what the fuck?
What?
Why'd you call?
Did I call?
Yeah,
I did not mean to call.
don't do that.
No. I don't know, maybe I said it on my phone.
I can't believe you butt dialed on a Good Morning Source Gaming. I've projected your mistake to the world.
Oh, well. I apologize profusely. Next time I'll dial with another part of my body that is not my butt.
Yeah, do it with your toes.
Have you ever realized that booty call and
I
butt
gotta
dial
return.
are
I gotta return to
basically the
this.
same
I gotta
term?
return to my show, Spazzy. Okay, we're back.
Wow, Colin, using that naughty language, how could you? I heard what you said to him.
What was said?
It's too rude for TV.
It's too
I
rude,
can't.
yeah.
TV. I could just go back and
Rude.
watch the VOD.
You can't. Time traveling's illegal. Make Mr. Rossetti
That's
mad.
right. It'll make
That's,
you turn us around.
I hope Spilled Paints is doing okay. That'd be a
Yeah.
perfect timestamp right there. It was great too because I was like Spazzy and he's like, yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, I'm sorry.
Oh, computer robots. Hey, how's everyone doing today?
Pretty
Lovely,
good.
lovely Sunday.
Terrible.
Well, I would say good.
I'm okay.
I would say good, but I had this goddamn breakfast sandwich.
And it tastes terrible, right?
It was
Dipped in
was
grease.
here. Let me I'm gonna show it with the class. All right, I'm gonna.
Breakfast donut sandwich.
It's not a donut. You just don't know what a real biscuit is.
It's 100% just a donut that they've slapped a burger into.
You G-dang
Well, our
limey.
biscuits are like bread, like little piece. I don't even know how to describe
is
it.
not what a
Somebody who
biscuit
wouldn't
is.
know.
It's not
Anyway,
what a biscuit is.
so
Our
so I
British
British
went.
invented the
biscuits are correct.
biscuits.
So I went to I went. You know what the British also invented? Like colonialism. So like pull it.
No.
Oh.
So anyway, I went to Wendy's to get a breakfast sandwich through the drive-thru. Don't worry, I'm not a monster. I'm not breaking social distancing. I also paid over the app, so there's like no and stuff going on. But I ordered their like chicken biscuit sandwich. And it comes. There's supposed to be like a little honey sauce on it, which is it's like ooh, that's nice. But like Wendy, what the fuck is this? What?
When?
Wait. That's supposed to be honey?
Yeah, it's like a honey
That looks like-
sauce.
That looks like grease.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It looks
does.
like
It neither looks like honey, chicken, or a biscuit.
it,
Which is a complete
it
travesty
looks
of a
like it was
sandwich.
hatched. It looks like it was in an egg, and they cracked it open, and that came out.
You got the nugget in a biscuit.
I did. I
I'm
got the funny
I'm worried
song.
you putting that on screen will demonetize everything.
This is so
It's not
disgusting.
we have to flag this as not friendly
Not
for children
safe for
now.
work.
Thanks.
Oh my gosh.
What a. So I had to during the break, I transferred over to a plate, and I had to eat it with a fork and knife because it's just so like it's like coated. It's like soaked. Otherwise, it was fine. It was very sweet. It was very, very sweet.
Looks like a very soggy biscuit.
It actually
Very soggy
retained its
indeed.
it retained its dryness, surprisingly.
Oh, I just had a sandwich. That was about it. But I also bought an entire bag of jalapeno cheese crisps
Ooh.
and devoured them while watching Red Dwarf. I don't know what's happening on with my life right now, but apparently it involves all of that.
I have some ghost pepper salsa, which is
Why?
it's so good.
Been getting really into spicy stuff. Like I've just been like slowly training my body to be able to deal with hotter and hotter spices.
Oh, by the way, that
easily.
sauce is like undeniably a honey sauce because like I can still smell it. Like, I opened up the wrapper in my kitchen, and my kitchen just smelt like honey.
They took the mustard out of the honey mustard. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's how they make honey. They take it out of the mustard.
Yeah.
Who
So,
needs
what's everyone been
bees?
playing this week? I've been
Um,
playing.
no one cares what I've been playing. I can tell you right now, not a single soul watching this gives a absolute shit about what I've been playing. So I will
Have you
pass it
been
on.
playing Rock Band?
I haven't been playing Rock Band. I've been playing Metro 2033 Redux for the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, nice.
Why?
See that react?
Sounds
Like no one
nice.
gave a shit. No,
I don't know what that is.
I've also
It's,
been.
it's, a,
I've
it's, a
also.
good, it's a good first-person shooter that they just.
I've
ported to
also.
the
I've
Switch.
also been breaking the
Yes.
video game quarantine by playing Counter-Strike Global Offensive, which for about 8 hours was the most. Like, don't play this or you'll get a malware, which ended up not being true at all. And
Yeah.
we can talk about that later. That was a very fun story.
Yeah. Right then,
But
what about you, Phantom? What have you been playing?
Smash. I haven't
Smash.
Smash. Me and my friends have been doing amiibo tournaments against each other, or where we like train an amiibo for 1 hour and then we fight
Oh,
against
nice.
each other.
Oh, that sounds fun.
In a tournament.
Yeah.
And
I've
it's
been
really
meaning to
fun.
do that.
But
I've got
I
so
haven't-
many amiibo back here, and I've just been
Yeah.
meaning to train them all up and do like an
Same.
amiibo tournament stream or
See,
something.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing
Same.
about that, right?
Yeah.
Like, so what you're doing is actually like there is a term for it. It's called amiibo cockfighting. And but here's the thing.
Stop
Here's the
talking.
thing.
Not
No,
talking.
shh.
Please stop talking.
Shh.
No, let's.
Back when this was like a big thing, when Smash for Wii U came out, it was so much better. And the reason being was because all of these amiibos were like rare as shit.
Yeah.
So you can go watch this on YouTube. I watched this live. It was really fun at SGC, which was like the Screw Attack gaming convention. Rest in pepperoni, Screw Attack.
Wait, are you about to talk about the one where the dude got his amiibo destroyed?
Yeah, they had the amiibo tournament, except it was called the amiibo
Yeah.
cockfight, and if your amiibo lost, they destroyed it on stage.
Yeah.
So you had people with their like rare $60 villagers and dark pits, and they're just getting smashed.
Oh.
You literally
they
had
deserve
people. You actually had
They deserve
people who that day just bought like $30 amiibos, and they're just getting
Oh
destroyed.
my.
Oh my god, why would you do that?
They deserve it.
But the thing
Yeah.
is,
The
the
rare
really
ones aren't really the best ones either.
Yeah.
Like at fighting.
the best thing was though, like Nintendo really knows how to make amiibos or like anything made out of plastic. Because half of the instruments used to destroy those amiibos fucking broke because those amiibos are like so dense.
Yeah, they are.
Andre,
I've taken apart amiibo before. And
Andre,
it's
Black
so
Nerd Comedy,
difficult.
he had a Pac-Man that broke a
Hmm.
blender.
It's just a big ball of
Yeah, because it's just a ball of
Nothing
plastic.
stops Pac-Man.
Yeah. I think they also broke like an angle grinder. Like it was ridiculous.
They are surprisingly heavy. Like the QB,
They are.
like, not the QB one, the Kirby one and the Chibi Robo one are like really hefty for what they are. Funnily enough, the QB one is really light, which makes me think that it's
Huh.
actually not very thick at all. Like they just made them really
Probably.
cheaply because it is just a square. Sorry,
know-
it's just a cube.
It's
A
really
lot of the
funny
amiibo
because
are pretty nicely made, at least. Some of
Let
them
me-
are iffier, but
Some of the earlier ones are a bit iffy.
yeah.
does anyone have this on
Have
YouTube?
what on?
Can you watch this?
Which one?
Oh,
They have the one from like RTX, but I don't want to watch the Rooster Teeth one. I want to watch the one from SGC 2015. Oh, I guess it's just like not here. Sad day. I guess
Surprised
guess
I
you-
haven't
I
seen
guess
that.
you just had to be there.
I'm surprised
So-
I haven't seen that happening more, considering Amiibo can be used online now.
Well, because the
If they can be used online, they won't stop you You're not gonna break it yourself. They're gonna be there with you to break it.
Well,
Well,
also-
if we're
also
still
because,
breaking
like-
them after, yeah.
Also because like they have no rarity to them anymore. Like you can just
Yeah.
buy like
True.
9 Wii
Yeah.
Fit trainers for the price of a donut. Like it's
Yeah, the only ones that are
Yeah.
rare anymore are the third-party ones. Because presumably,
Right.
it required an extra license to get them. Like
Isn't
it-
Cloud and Sonic are basically impossible to find, at least over here.
stocks
Isn't
are
so-
down.
Is Rosalina and Luma still like super hard to find? Because I've
Nah,
never seen
not-
one.
They're not that hard to find anymore. Rosaline and the really common ones are like Roy and Lucas, and
poor
the
Lucas.
Mario ones. They're all really
And the
easy to
Animal
get hold
Crossing
of.
ones. Yeah.
Funny enough, Ryu and Ken aren't that too difficult to find. That's
At least
that's
find
it for the third party ones, like
At this
Bayonetta,
point-
Cloud.
At this
The
point, I'm
Sonic.
pretty sure I've seen every amiibo like 9 times at a Best Buy or something. Like I'm pretty sure like the entire roster is just like
I mean, if anyone wants to find me a Sonic amiibo or a Cloud
I-
amiibo and send it
I
my
have
way, I mean,
I have bad news. I used to have a Sonic, but I destroyed it.
Why?
Oh.
Why'd you do that?
No, it's
this
very
was-
easy
this
to do
was
that
when
when you
Sonic
watch Sonic.
just came out, and it was kind of for a meme because so earlier that day I won a Smash tournament and got prize money. I'm like, I know what I'm gonna do with this. So I went with my friends, bought a Sonic amiibo, and then we destroyed it together. We thought it was funny.
Your Sonic rage is just knew
Yeah.
no bounds.
Oh,
And I remade it into like I like painted it and made it a really bad looking Big the Cat.
Oh no, Jesus! Do you have a picture
Alright,
of that?
blue, and you
really
smashed it.
cursed. Yeah.
You got to share a picture of that now.
Oh, okay. So I actually used like a different. I think I used a Bidoo figure for Big the Cat, and I think I made Sonic into Froggy using his head and like his legs. It was really, really cursed.
what the
I have to get
Jesus.
a picture of it.
Yes, you do. That sounds awful.
Oh,
While he's doing that, I guess I'll cover the games I've been playing. It's I've been on a very big fighting game kick this week.
Ooh.
Yeah, to be honest.
fighting games.
Been playing Grand Blue. I started the RPG mode for that finally.
Trash.
Started today Uniqlo,
Trash.
which is
Mm.
super speedy, much faster than I was expecting it to be. I really like it actually. For the 1 hour I've played of it so far, because I got a pro controller this week. Decided to start playing some
Finally.
more PC games, and I've played Card Saga Wars and that Sonic Smackdown fighting game.
Oh.
Made one. Card Saga Wars is fantastic, and I'm very upset that it didn't become like never got finished. It's super. It just feels like a 2D fighter version of Smash. Like it uses the same sort of mechanics where there's one standard button and one special button for every character, and you chain combos by doing the standard button with whatever input needed. Like you can do a four standard combo into a down combo into a special into like a quarter circle forward.
So you
Like,
mean
feels
like
super satisfying.
so you mean like Blaze Blue and Arc System where you use not Arc System, Blaze Blue and Guilty where you have like the simplified layout kinda? Because they have like an attack button and a special button.
Yeah, if that's what they do on that, then
Yeah.
like it's literally just a 2-button fighter, special, regular. I guess
sent the
grab, so
amiibo.
3. So
Yeah.
you sent the amiibo. Get that on
That is
stream. Then.
cursed.
I know.
Oh my
Oh,
That's
god,
not
man.
the
that
only
is
cursed
oh my
amiibo
God.
I've made either. I started
Oh my
making
God.
more cursed amiibo as memes for like I would give them to my friends as gifts. Like I made like a chic Luigi. I made
Oh, no.
I made so many. I can't even remember the other ones. The only legitimate amiibo that I made that was even kind of okay was Waluigi over Luigi because I didn't think they'd ever make a Waluigi amiibo. I got like
Right,
a
you are.
Waluigi figure and just took the Luigi off the stand and used that for the Luigi Chic and then put Waluigi in its place.
Ugh, cursed imagery.
The
Yeah,
thing
with
The thing about the Pro Controller on PC is that like the that thing has like not near identical, but it's got a lot of the same similar guts as the Steam controller does, like because they both have gyro and they both have
Mhm.
haptic feedback. and they both have more or less the same amount of buttons. The only real difference is that instead of having the big touch pads, it just has like 2 standard analog sticks. So pretty much any game that uses like a Steam controller configuration also works with the Switch Pro. So like, go play Prey 2017, and you'll be like, ooh, this is nice. Because that game
I was having a
had, like,
problem with the Pro Controller at first. It turns out if you set it up on Steam and have it registered as a Pro Controller, the gyro goes completely out of whack. Like your computer just starts picking up the gyro as every like input.
yeah,
Which makes it super
the thing-
difficult to play non-Steam games with.
the thing you gotta do is you gotta set your desktop configurations.
Well, I had to start registering it as a standard controller, and then get WASD to reconfigure it to match what I wasn't playing. Eventually, got it to start working on stuff. Yeah, with
Phantom,
Sonic
how
Smackdown.
can you say
which
the
is what
games I
was-
recommend are bad when you're never going to play them?
Exactly. That's how I know that they're bad, because I'm never gonna play them.
Cool.
It's bad
Epic.
opinion.
Any game that I've never played is bad. So that means like almost every Mario game is bad.
What a funny joke.
Wrong opinion, Phantom's wrong opinion time.
Correct.
That Sonic, what game that is bad is that Sonic fighting game. I don't know if it's just my computer or not, but like, it seemed really sort of laggy. And I know it's a fan game, so I shouldn't expect too much. But it just felt a bit too slow for me, and the CPU is completely whack. Like the CPU is just it just like destroys everything. It's ridiculous.
That kind of whack.
Yeah. It's just a shame because it looked really fun and people really like it, but I just couldn't get into it, especially after just playing Card Saga Wars and then going on to play Grand Blue just after. I was like, oh, this is really making this look worse and worse. Yeah, I have a Pro Controller now, which means I can go back to playing PC games because I'm not a keyboard and mouse person. I am a born and bred console gamer.
Correct. The way it should be.
So now I can start playing. So I was going through my Steam library and I had so many games I didn't realize that I owned, like Revelations 2 and 2064 read-only memories.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna have to start working my way through them, make sure they're both controller compatible. Oh well, that's what I've been playing. What about you, Cody?
Okay, so I got so bored over this time that I bought a PS4, and that's not.
What you do?
So it's coming in the mail still, but in anticipation of it because I really kind of want to play Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Mhm.
I've been playing Final Fantasy VII, so I got a bunch of mods for it. I have it on Steam, and it looks a lot nicer with all the mods, and it runs a little smoother too. So that's nice. It was kind of hard to stomach the old graphics. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm not like much of a graphics guy, but that was just it was pretty. I don't know. I just couldn't deal with it when I first played it. So I just had it in my Steam library for the longest time, waiting to eventually get around to downloading mods for it. So I did the first bombing mission, and that was pretty cool. And still got to work my way through more of it. But I think it's pretty fun so far.
Nice.
Pretty much.
I've been debating what to do with Final Fantasy VII. My housemate is playing through the remake now, and I'm watching him. I've been watching him play through it.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And like, I mean, it took me. I watched 30 minutes of the beginning, everything from the Scorpion fight to meeting Tifa for the first time.
Yeah.
And like, instantly predicted how the plot was going to change from the original and all of this. And I haven't got it fully confirmed, but I have it on authority that I was like pretty much 100% correct.
Yeah, the remake's interesting.
I think the big problem with trying to play FF7 nowadays, and I think we've talked about this before, is that like all the new versions of like classic FF7 are like inherently kind of bad because like
Yeah.
the frame rate is like not
Yeah, exactly.
like if
So
you
That's why I've
own
been-
got
if,
it on Steam for mods.
if you own a PS3 or like a Vita or a PSP or a PS1 or 2, like the original PS1 release runs at 60 FPS at all times. But for some
Mhm.
reason, and they've never fixed this, PC version and all subsequent ports of that version on PS4 and Switch run at 30 FPS, but in
Yeah,
battles
yeah.
it's 15. And it makes
Yeah.
it makes
Why?
no sense.
It's so weird.
That's weird.
And they could very
It's
easily
strange.
fix it because people have already done so.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe they're
It
lazy.
is really weird because this is
It
this is
is.
the thing I've been thinking. If I get it, I'd probably get it on Switch. It's because that's the easiest one for me to
Right.
actually play it. I don't have my PS3 or PSP at my house
Apparently-
anymore. So...
Apparently the way to fix it if you're on console, like the way to get around it is because they added like a speed feature that just allows you to speed up the game and make it faster. So
Wow.
apparently, if you turn it to like 3 times speed, like that's how
yeah.
to play like classic 30 FPS FF7 instead, which is just like
That's wrong.
just come on, like Square, like what the fuck? But
really strange.
speaking of weird Square things, I guess I would have been talking about Trials of Mana right now, but A, Spazzy isn't on, and B, my copy was delayed. So womp womp. I just don't have it. The only thing I have
Yeah.
to say about it is why doesn't it have co-op?
Yeah, I'll see you've answered that for me then, because that was my one thing. I was when I was getting the spirits, because they obviously added them to Smash. Which, by the way, Mana has more spirits than Final Fantasy. What?
Yeah.
Like, I was playing it with my friend was watching, and I was just like, Secret of Mana's got co-op. Did the original Trials of Mana have co-op, and does this new one have co-op? Because I played a demo of the new one at an event, and I didn't feel like it was a game that could have co-op.
The
I thought that was the
has
whole
co-op.
sort of draw of Mana.
The
Like,
original has
a co-op
co-op. The new
RPG.
one doesn't. It's very odd.
It is strange because did the remake of Secrets of Mana, you know, the one people don't like,
Yeah.
did that have co-op?
It did.
Okay,
But
Wait,
that's
I can
because
only
like,
assume they-
the Secret of Mana remake is like almost a straight remake. Like it's not the same thing as Trials where they
I
kinda
feel like they
souped it
changed up the style of Trials of Mana, be like an over-the-shoulder JRPG instead of the top-down JRPG.
Yeah, it's a
style.
very odd choice. I'm waiting for my copy to come in, but I've heard it's okay. I've heard it's like fine.
It seemed fine when I played it. My only complaint was obviously I was playing a very early version of the game. All the CPUs basically said the exact same thing, and there was like so many repeated models for NPC characters.
Uh-oh.
But I'm assuming that's solely because it was a really early version of the game.
Hey, by
So-
the way, Wendy's just gave me a notification saying get a free honey butter chicken biscuit with any. I'm not getting it again. I'm not
Saw
doing it
the
again,
stream.
Wendy's.
Like sponsorship, you can have a free one if you keep mentioning us.
I was gonna say I know we don't usually do sponsorships. A, because no one reaches out to us, but B, also because we kind of present like a lot of the time we do like these like objective information stuff. So it'd be very weird for us to be like this data mine is brought to you by Squarespace, you know. But
this leak of the next Smash Brothers character is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends.
Raytons.
Oh, God.
You won't believe who the next fighter is.
But yeah, that was I was joking like, hey, we should get sponsored by Wendy's, but after that, I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Sponsored
all
by
right, that we
Butterfinger.
got seemingly got through all the games that we've been playing pretty quickly this week. Surprisingly.
Well, we didn't really play a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
Supposed to
bought-
be getting more with the PS4, but I just didn't get it yet.
I
Get
bought
What else have you?
games.
What else have you ordered, Cody?
Oh, yeah, I found it on eBay, and it came with like a bunch of games. It's the Death Stranding Special Edition one, so it's
Ooh, okay.
pretty nice deal. So I got the Death Stranding game, and like it came with I think Spider-Man, God of
Ooh.
War,
Ooh.
Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
It came with a bunch of really good games. I think there's more, but I forgot.
All
Mortal
the big
Kombat
ones from
11.
the last like.
Did you get Days
Yeah.
Gone?
No, it didn't come with that.
Fortunate.
Didn't have
Hey,
it. Yeah.
hey, Cody, I
Actually,
have
like
a really
Days Gone,
cool.
Phantom.
I have a really cool game recommendation for PS4. It's called you buy a
What?
PSVR headset and you
No, don't do it.
and you buy
Don't do
Blood
it.
and Truth.
Don't do it.
It's the best
Uh,
game ever made.
PSVR is definitely worth it. Although, like, we will buy Blood and Truth eventually, and I want Tetris Effect to go down
Is
because,
it on
like,
PC? I
No,
think I'd rather buy like an Oculus on PC.
no.
Blood and Truth
buy
is a
VR
Sony
Yeah.
original IP. It's
Oh,
pretty.
wow.
It does look pretty fun. Yeah,
You should buy Beat Saber.
it would if
Yeah,
I had it on
I
PC. To
played
be honest,
Beat Saber
actually.
on the PC. My college gaming club has an Oculus headset and a setup
nice.
for it too. So I set up Beat Saber and played it on there, but maybe I'll get my own someday.
That's the thing. The reason I didn't get Beat Saber on PS4 is because I feel like if I was gonna have it, I may as well have the one where I can mod my own songs into
Yeah, exactly.
it.
It's not much fun when it's all the songs you have to pay for.
How much is Tetris on sale for? The Dingerbell just told me that it's on sale, Tetris Effect. But the problem is, I already own Tetris 99 on the Switch, Puyo Puyo Tetris on the Switch, Tetris on the DS, Tetris on the 3DS, Tetris on the Game Boy. I own a lot of copies of Tetris, and I'm not sure I can justify full price purchase. Maybe if it's less than 10 quid, I'll buy Tetris Effect because it is a really fun version. But like, it's not gonna. It's only gonna provide me visual sensation. I'm gonna breeze through it gameplay wise.
Yeah. Tetris 99 has really come a long way, honestly. It's
I was
pretty
playing
good.
it because of the Ring Fit one. It was
I
really
saw
fun.
that event.
Yeah, that's £17.49. That's £7.49 too expensive for me. But I'm doing a Rayman Legends where I don't buy it until it goes below 10 quid. So I don't buy it until like the Switches came out.
Here's my hot take. I think Tetris Effect is kind of overrated
Why?
because it's like aesthetically really nice, but like you're only gonna get like 2 hours most like enjoyment out of that before the novelty kind of wears off.
I mean, that's why I don't want to buy it for. That's why I don't
Tetris
want to buy it for more
99.
than a tenner. I've played a
Yeah.
demo of it at an event, and thought it was super cool, but I can tell it is just Tetris, a single player Tetris as well, so not against people who are purely buying it for that visual and auditory overload.
Hell yeah.
It's like really cool and badass, but like at the same time, there's like other and potentially better ways of playing Tetris that like maybe aren't as pretty, but like whatever, it's a decent trade-off.
I mean,
I think it's a cool novelty if you're introducing people to VR because it's a simple game to play.
Oh, totally. That
Mhm.
and Super Hypercube. That's a good one. I like that one.
Not played that one. I'm not playing that one. Super Hot was pretty fun for it. VR stuff though.
I'm also just
Oh,
waiting
yeah,
for a
Super
few
Hot's fun.
games to come in through the old GameFly queue. Come in here. I have Predator Hunting Grounds on the way, and it's that I'm definitely looking forward to, considering the fact that my friend who pre-ordered the game digitally sent me a DM like 2 hours after I got the notice that it shipped out that he refunded it because he's like, yeah, because he's like, the PS4 version of this game is so bad. Like they really goofed this one up.
They're even more excited.
Yeah.
I'm
But
pretty
hey,
sure.
Animal Crossing is at the top of my queue, and availability is high, so I might
That's
be
a
good.
good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Animal Crossing is a good transition into the update they did this week for Animal Crossing.
Ooh.
Only adding
Yeah.
adding Nature Day is happening, and they're adding in art, and they're adding in hedges. Woo.
They added in red.
And yeah, the red with the art. He came to the town today, but I think everything he was selling was fake. We've
Love
taken a
that.
gamble. There was one thing we couldn't tell whether it was fake or not, so I chose to buy it, and I'll find out tomorrow when it arrives. When you buy stuff from him, he ships it to you. He doesn't like
Oh.
just give it to you.
Interesting.
Oh.
Really strange. I'll find
That
out
way,
tomorrow
if
whether or
fake,
not
you
it's
can't
fake
go to
or
him and
not.
get a refund.
Oh. That's probably it, actually. Oh, I did confirm that if you've got multiple people using the same island, you can all buy one each. So, like, 'cause
Oh.
some people are like, there's 43 pieces of artwork. If red comes once a week, you're effectively playing in for nearly an entire year. Get the whole thing. Assuming, obviously, if he comes with fake stuff, nothing but fake stuff, then that entire week is a waste. If he comes with like 3 real things, if you have 3 accounts on the Switch, then you can all just buy it. Down on the time. It's pretty
or-
cool. I was wondering if that would be possible or not, and it is. So yay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Mario Maker got a pretty
It's
cool
nice having the
update.
art. Like I just like having the them updating it, and they're also obviously adding in not marriage, wedding photo anniversary thing.
Yeah,
And we get what else? What else did they add? They basically confirmed events all the way up until the end of June.
yeah.
I remember it's the museum day, which is kind of cute. You go around and get the stamp book.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's nice too.
You get Nook Miles for showing blathers of fake, apparently. Nice. At least I can get that. And what else is there? There was Nature Day, Museum Day, May Day. That was it.
May Day, yeah.
Then marriage season, which is just all of June. So that's. I mean, that was an update they'd announced ages ago, and it's just suddenly coming. But Nintendo have also been going pretty ham this week with updates and updates and updates.
Yeah, with
Like
the
Mario Maker 2 got an update, Animal Crossing got an update, Splatoon 2 is getting a redone Splatfest, Smash got the Spirit event for Trials of Mana, Tetris 99 got the Ring Fit Adventure update.
Yeah.
Like,
Splatoon
it's
coming back was
crazy.
interesting.
Yeah.
Didn't
I
think
think-
that would happen.
I mean, I think the Splatoon one has the most obvious answer, which is that
Mhm.
like they sold like 5 million
Yeah,
Switches over the last few months, and they just
definitely.
they
Trying
just
to get people to get Splatoon now.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it's
How they
very
did the
weird.
ARMS demo, they're now doing the Splatoon demo.
I think if
Right.
there wasn't such a surge in Switch purchases, and you didn't have this cool apocalypse going on at the same time, I just don't think they would have done it.
Yeah, I think so
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I think that because because people have to stay inside and stuff, Nintendo's not releasing anymore. They're sort of because this is just an old event. It's just the Ketchup Mayo one again.
Yeah,
They're
That's one.
like they're redoing old ones to sort of keep people something to do because they can't leave their homes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's what I think is happening with this. All the
So-
updates. I mean, the Mario Maker one's really interesting because it's tied in with Mario Kart Tour.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
So the Mario Kart Tour's update, the tour that's going on right now is the Trick Tour, but the characters
Mhm.
they added to it were like Build a Mario and Build a Toad,
Yeah.
would- directly a tie-in to the Mario Maker update. To me, he says they must have planned this ages ago. Like this must have been something that they had planned and always releasing this Mario Maker update on this day, but they obviously didn't announce it until like the day before.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I almost wonder if it was something that was meant to have been announced a lot sooner and just wasn't able to because of COVID-19.
hmm
Maybe.
Shouldn't have said that. Shouldn't have
Um,
used those naughty words.
so like if now like the first game to like have another demo was Arms and the second was Splatoon 2, the third is gonna be like Mario Tennis Aces, right?
I mean, yeah,
I'm gonna
actually,
assume.
going in this pattern, yes, it will.
Okay.
They'll do Mario Tennis Aces again. Like I feel like they're dropping a lot of this stuff and suddenly announcing stuff because of what's happening in the world right now.
Yeah, definitely.
But it makes me wonder what other stuff, because obviously some stuff will have been pushed back, new games will have been pushed back.
Yeah.
But, how are they going to announce other sort of updates? Are we not going to hear anything from now until Xenoblade comes out, or are we going to be getting like every few weeks they'll announce some kind of event or something? Because I feel like
don't
the
know.
Splatfest, Nintendo is sort of trying to do what they can with the games that they've currently got available.
Right.
Right.
I wonder if we'll see like an increase in Spirit event or an increase in Tetris 99 themes or something like that. Games
Yeah.
Nintendo own that they could easily do Spirit events for. Like, I don't know how
Everything-
early Trials of Mana was planned, but they've had all them indie games like the Stretchers and Good Job that they've been publishing that they could, in theory, just throw into Smash.
They honestly could be using more that their Switch Online thing more, like, where you like for like a free period. Like I guess the demos are kind of the same thing, but like no, like an actual like week period, like how they did with Dead Cells, Fire Emblem Warriors, and Captain Toad, where like you get the game for free if you have Switch Online for like a week. Those are actually like enjoyable to do.
Yeah. They haven't done. They've made them like very specific in each region. Like, I don't think Europe got Dead Cells.
Yeah,
We did get Mario Tennis free for a little bit, and Captain Toad we definitely got.
Captain Toad was America too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
We might have got Fire Emblem Warriors. I don't remember, but I don't remember getting Dead Cells. Maybe I just completely missed it.
I had downloaded the game. That was my first time playing Dead Cells. Like, whoa, I really want to buy this game now. I'm not going to,
Well,
but
that's what the demos want. That's what the
Yeah.
demos convince you to do.
Speaking of Switch Online, we got a very, very weird set of events with the I'm putting up the air quotes, breach.
Mm.
Where
Oh, right.
people
Yeah.
were getting their accounts hacked into, but not really hacked. It's just a very overall weird situation that is very, very confusing to explain. So let me attempt to explain it. So all right. Most people watching this and on here owned a 3DS and or Wii U, right?
correct.
Mhm.
So when you guys like bought the Switch, took it home and set it up, like when you logged in, you just used like your Nintendo Network ID, right? Because that's your Nintendo
yeah.
account.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what happened. When you make a Nintendo account on the Switch, you're like, even though you're logging in with a Nintendo Network ID, you're technically making a new account with like a new username and a new password. So whatever account you had tied to the 3DS or the Wii U, is still exactly the way it was when
Yeah.
Right,
however you
right.
left it.
Right.
And the problem with that, like Nintendo Network ID is, I wouldn't say it's like ultra secure, but the one thing it has going for it is that it's basically tied to the console you're using it on. So it's like no one's gonna get into your account because there's no reason to. Like they won't be able to download your games on another 3DS or something because all your purchases and everything are tied to that system. But what was happening was you could use that Nintendo Network ID login to log into a Switch and do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
Because people were essentially have these accounts with like passwords that are like 4 to 6 years old that they just haven't updated. So it wasn't so much that people were getting, there wasn't really a security breach. It was just that some person online big brained and realized that like people probably didn't change their passwords on the 3DS, so they just were able to get into Switch accounts from there. But now they turned off the ability to sign in with Nintendo Network ID, so problem
Yep.
solved, I guess.
It's such a Nintendo way of solving the problem.
I mean, it's the smart thing to do because the first
Yeah.
the fact that you could log in with a Nintendo Network ID in the first place is weird.
Well, is it really? If you can do it with
Yeah,
like
I don't feel
Google
like it was
and-
I think for
Weird.
first time setup it's fine, but for later events it's definitely weird because it's
maybe
like
maybe
it's-
for like the first year, maybe it was okay because there were people jumping on from other systems, but I don't think it's really as necessary now.
yeah.
I know it's definitely not as necessary now. I think it made sense to have it as an option because it made sense
the
to
beginning,
have it as
yeah.
a start. But yeah, when they had Google and they got Apple now, I think
Yeah, they have
Twitter and
Apple
Facebook
ID.
login. Like you didn't really need to use your Nintendo Network ID unless you just really didn't want to do the others, or maybe you just didn't have a Twitter, Facebook, or Google account somehow.
Yeah.
And
I,
then,
I actually did that because I didn't have any of those accounts back then. I used the network ID.
But well, what I was implying was that it was fine for like when you're first setting up the Nintendo account, so you can link over your friends list and
Yeah.
everything. But
Exactly.
being able to subsequently log in with a Nintendo network ID is a little silly.
Yeah.
No, I think it just made sense to have it as an option, but yeah, now that there are other options, it does make sense to just cut it. Just, I feel like any other company would have tried to solve the issue and keep, like, just make everyone change their passwords, but keep Nintendo network IDs up. And Nintendo's like, nah, just cut, just nuke it.
Yeah, just
Get rid
But
of
we
it. Just get
also-
rid of the option.
we also got coming with that little update. We also in Japan they released the My Nintendo app.
Yeah,
Which is,
that's really cool.
Yeah, the weird thing about the My Nintendo app is that it's kind of badass because it's like it's not just because on the cover you just be like, oh, it's gonna be like just the My Nintendo website but in an app.
Yeah,
But
you
no,
think that.
like it has like I'm trying to think of the word. It has like the play logs and
Yeah,
everything.
the play log,
Right.
like a complete play log of everything, even from 3DS and Wii U.
It's so
That's
weird.
really, that's really cool. I mean, that's the feature I wanted to come back because I loved it on the 3DS.
Yeah,
Having an activity log where you could, I like move all of the icons into like categories, so I'd have first party Nintendo games, downloads, virtual console, etc.
I think you
And
can
then,
even
like,
access
could
the
rank it by how much I've played them.
I think you can even
Right.
access the shop through it. Like I've seen a few screen caps that show like
That
here's a
makes
game
sense,
and
yeah.
here's how much it costs and stuff. It's very bizarre.
That'll be great.
I hope
least
they
it over
bring it
here
over
now.
stateside. Yeah.
And if they
Yeah.
don't, you just download it by a different way.
When you can get, if you've got a Japanese account, because that's the thing, you can only log into the even if you can download the Japanese app, you can only log into it with your Japanese account if you've got one.
Yeah.
You can't log into it with
Damn
your
it.
American or European one. Yeah.
I guess I'll log into
They
my
knew.
Japanese account and find out where to
Hey,
get Japanese money.
well, it's a free app.
No, I'm talking about so I could buy the games on it.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, go to the Japanese eShop through the Japanese app.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
so I can get Japanese
sure it's set up in a way that if you log into whatever account you have, it just shows whatever regardless of your region. Like it
I would-
just shows whatever is tied to that account.
I would hope so, because like when you go on, like when you're using the Japanese website, if you're already logged into like your American account, it'll still say, "Hey, you're logged into your American account. Do you want to switch or like do you want to log out?" And you could be like, "No," and you can still browse it under that same account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of hope they bring it stateside because it looks kind of badass. It looks kind of neat. It looks more worthwhile than the Nintendo Switch Online app, which is a little bizarre. But
I'm surprised it's just not in the Nintendo Switch Online app. Like, why is this a
I'm
separate
surprised
thing?
we still have the
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch Online app. Honestly,
Honestly,
It's such a-
why is this not a part of the Switch Online app?
it's such a you know what
Nintendo's
really
strange.
you know what really grinds my gears about the Nintendo Switch Online app? They used to have a little thing that told you which games had voice chat compatibility. Not
Mhm.
anymore.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Like what?
why,
What the?
why even cut it?
Like why? Like
Yeah. That's that's
voice
just
chat's already like a
strange.
weird issue on the Switch. Why like cut the thing that tells you what works?
The Switch Online app's strange. Like, it's only got 3 games compatible with it. Was it Splatoon
Yeah.
2, Smash Brothers, and Animal Crossing? The Animal Crossing one actually works really well. But
Yeah,
the
that
only
one
time
is
I've
neat.
ever found this app useful, but to be fair, I didn't play enough Splatoon 2.
I
Smash
think it's
Brothers
also
part of it is
kinda-
pretty useless. But
I-
like, why didn't they have Mario Maker 2 of all things on there? Like,
Oh, that would
surely
have been great.
uploading and stuff and scanning QR codes of people's
Looking at
levels
all
through
of
your
your
phone to
codes,
download
too.
it. Yeah.
I also think it's kind of stinky because like they're like every new feature they are loading out for the online service is like on the Switch. like the whole online like invite system is local to the Switch and nothing else. So it's like all of these like cool features that could have easily been also put on the app or like mirrored, like you're just like not there. Which is weird. Because, like, wasn't the whole point of the online app is that it also handled, like, party invites in Splatoon 2, like, for private
Yeah.
rooms? So, like,
Yeah.
what the... I don't
I
get
guess
it.
Apparently.
it seems like they've. I thought that they were just kind of phasing it out, honestly, until Animal Crossing said it was going to use it. I don't
very
know how
odd.
many more games are going to use it, honestly.
But yeah, I hope they release that My Nintendo app over here. I was actually trying to switch over to the Japanese app store so I could download it and try it for myself, but then it was like you have to cancel your Apple Music subscription, and I was like, I don't know about that one, Skippy.
Yeah,
Wait,
just
can't you
wait. It'll come over eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
You mean like Google Play App, Japanese Google Play App Store?
The Apple app
Yeah,
store.
Apple's
Oh, never mind.
Apple App
Apple's
Store.
strange with regional stuff.
Why Nintendo Switch so expensive in the third world? Usually because it's not produced local there.
Yeah, usually they're they don't release it there normally. I would have thought, and so it has to be imported in, and then you have to buy it. I know that's what a lot of countries that aren't
might
usually
be-
within
They might
Nintendo's
be returning
markets.
to Brazil though. Apparently, that's
They-
like there's some news about them returning production to Brazil for the Switch.
I don't know enough about it. Yeah, Mario Maker feels like they're dumping it off. Very surprised to see an update. It does feel like they'd planned more for it. It didn't quite meet the sales expectations they were thinking of.
I think
They've just decided to release everything that they've made now.
some people are
just
saying it's because
push it
like they're releasing a lesser product than the Wii U version, or at least like it's not even just that. It's like they haven't like built up enough like features to make it feel like a real sequel. I just think like the novelty for the most part has kind of worn off.
I don't know. I'm a bit mixed. I kind of get it. Like, it's definitely the first Mario Maker was designed with the Wii U in mind.
No.
So this follow up definitely is limited because of that. Because it
Yeah.
doesn't have the gamepad and stuff. But they've also added a bunch of stuff in it that is more single player friendly,
Mhm.
and a lot of
Right.
changes that people really wanted and all that. And I enjoyed it. I think it is just a case that either the novelty of the first one wore off, or people just didn't want to buy it for whatever reason, and it just didn't sell well. I reckon if it had sold as well as the first one did, or better, then they would have just been updating it more frequently and keeping things going.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot
Yeah.
of people who buy Mario Maker like me, where I don't do any of the building stuff. I just play all the custom levels online.
The thing
Yeah.
is, for me, I want to make custom levels, but it's like as soon as I get to do it, like, oh wait, I have to use a touchscreen. I'm not gonna do this. I'll just go back to playing other people's levels.
I feel like I feel
so
like people get
annoying.
like all goofy about the building on the TV a little too much, because they streamlined it pretty well in Mario Maker
Yeah, they
2
did.
to work with
They
the
did
controller. Like, the
best
whole
they
thing
could.
is like grid based now.
Yeah, they did the best they could. Yeah.
No, but the thing is that,
Yeah.
like in order to like pick certain things, you have to use a touchscreen, right? So
No.
like,
I don't think so.
No,
It's
you
easy-
can access
easier
everything.
on the touch screen,
It's
but you can access
easier, yeah.
everything.
I
through
guess I
the
just don't know the
controller.
controls for it, because
Yeah.
I tried using what was I wanted to switch to like different panels, like to like use what's it called, the ladders, like the plant ladders. It's like, oh, what button do I press to do it? I don't know.
It
I'm
has
pressing every
kind
I'm
of a
pressing every
weird
button.
button
There we
scheme.
go.
Yeah. You have to press
Yeah.
X to go between like putting stuff down and picking map pieces, and then you have to pick the button that lets you look at all the map pieces, and then you have to pick the map piece. It's a kind of a long
Yeah.
process. I made a new level actually after the update happened. The first level I made, and I used to make these kinds of levels in Mario Maker 1 too. I like making recreations of other games levels in
Mm.
Mario Maker.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
in Mario Maker 2, I made a recreation of 2 Wario Land 4 levels because I really love the level design in that game. So I basically try to make a lot of the mechanics as similar to Wario Land as possible while still kind of keeping a decent level design intact. Trying to make sure it's not just completely bonkers, but trying to get the same kind of layout and feeling of the Wario Land levels too. So I made like the last level in Wario Land recently, and then I put my 2 levels in a world, even though I only have 2 on Mario Maker 2. I wish I could bring all my levels from Mario Maker 1 because I made so many on there.
I think that was an issue for me with Mario Maker. In the first game, I made a whole bunch of levels. Like I did a few recreations. So there was one I was particularly proud of. For those who have played Yoshi's Woolly World, there's a level where you're chased by, like, it's one of the special stages. You're chased by a giant piranha plant.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah,
and you got to dodge it. And I recreated that in Mario Maker using the Yarn Yoshi costume and a piranha plant on a rail.
Those costumes were so great. Forgot about
and you have to do stuff like bounce off of wigglers to get it to avoid the spikes and stuff like this. And I was really proud of it. But the problem with the first Mario Maker is if your stage doesn't get enough traction, Nintendo just removes it from the service.
Yeah. That's what they used to do.
In the first one, basically, if you want a YouTuber who could just flaunt their stage and get all their fans to play it, or if you want making a music level where it was just an auto stage,
exactly,
or you want making some nonsensical Kaizo level that's again someone played on stream and thought was really popular. Game just your course just never got recognized.
Yep, pretty much.
Needed to get liked, and for those of you who are doing the 100 Mario one where it just plays random levels, the chances of someone actually liking the stage and not just finishing it and then pressing A as fast as they can to get to the next stage, it just like you never got anything, and so your stage would get removed, and then the game wouldn't let you re-upload it. Even if you made like a slight change, game would just lock you from re-uploading the level, which just meant so you could spend hours and hours making a level you're really proud of, have like 7 people play it, and then Nintendo remove it from the service so no one can ever have the chance to play it again, and it's incredibly demoralizing.
It really is. Yeah,
you didn't make it right. Fuck you.
It's just
that's so like messed up.
Not good, and it's like it's particularly annoying when you're playing online and you're very obviously like you get like a ton of really bad levels or really short levels, stuff like this, and these are all coming up more frequently, and it's making you think like no one's played my level. Is that either because is the difficulty like too high or something that people aren't playing it, or is not enough people liking it, and it was a really weird process. And I think they made it slightly better in Mario Maker 2, but I have a feeling they still remove levels if people haven't played them enough.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure if they do that anymore, because I know I've had levels just kind of sitting there for a while. Well, my one Wario Land level has just kind of been sitting there, and not many people have actually like gotten to play it. But it's gotten like, I mean, it's got like a couple likes from the people who did play it, but it hasn't been played by many people. And I think I remember like similar ratios being removed in Mario Maker 1. So I think now with Nintendo Online, they probably feel a little bit more that they have to keep people's levels up if they're paying to have them online.
Yeah. It was, because of that. And then all I ended up doing in Mario Maker 2 was I made like 2 levels, I think. One I quite liked, where it was like or I put a lot of effort into trying to make it. And then another one which I kind of did as a test. Just to test some of the features and stuff, and then that was about it. That I played the single player campaign and then stopped playing it because I just moved on to something else. I am a bit more tempted to make levels like make a whole world, because then I could try and do the proper Mario 4-panel theming for levels, where you introduce a concept and the next stage you do something just different with that concept, and then you remix it again in the 3rd level. And like I kind of like that whole build-up thing. I might look into making a few levels if I can even get the time to do it. But yeah, it's a shame. Mario Maker's a cool idea, but it seems the novelty is worn off.
Yeah, I still think it's dope. I actually really like the story mode. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, the story mode was really cool.
It's better than any of the new Super Mario Brothers.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
This brings up something that Coconut Face brought up in this chat. the story mode had special clear conditions where you'd like need to carry something to the exit, or find the missing toad and stuff, and they never added that as an option for you to.
That was so strange.
Which is really strange. I don't know why you wouldn't make you should make every level in the story mode should be something that the player can then make themselves.
Yeah, I was so ready for those stones because there was a level in Wario Land 4 that uses like pinballs, and I was like, oh, I could totally use the stones as pinballs, but
nope. It's weird. I don't get that, but we'll probably make more Wario Land-esque levels now with thanks to the Mario Brothers 2 mushroom.
Yeah, it's
also
also
now with it.
It's also curious that they made Mario 2 a power up and not a
I feel like they were definitely planning for it to be theme, and it's just one of those things that now they want to stop supporting it. Let's just release what we can.
Yeah.
That
It
hurts
seems like they're
so
kind of
much.
shooing this update out of the door, like trying to get it out now for whatever announcements they might have in May or June.
Well, they
I almost wonder if they had like a problem with how long, because the fact that Mario Maker 2 has been almost out for a year, if this was actually a full Mario Brothers 2 themed was planned, you'd think they'd have more developed than just the ability to pick up stuff. You think they'd have actual assets and stuff. Maybe they did, and they're just choosing not to release it because they're not releasing a theme. But
maybe.
Yeah, I know you'd think they'd have more enemies like Shy Guys at the very least.
Yeah. I mean, at least the Mario 2 mushroom is like as close to like it has all the features of Mario 2 being like you don't like kill anybody when you step on them, you can just pick them up and everything, and even trying to put the turnip thing in the snow theme, kind of like with the picking up snowballs in a way. At least that's something, but I can see why some people are like miss the aesthetic of Mario 2, but I think the mushroom kind of gets
the physics across. I think people just really
the
were
physics
hoping
are
to see
important.
like Birdo and
Full
Wolf
on
and stuff
Mario
back.
2 aesthetics,
Shy Guys, like the enemies and stuff from that game. So they only added what's it, the mask that chases you.
Yeah, the mask, and they put the what are they called? Ninja? I think that's what they're called.
Ninja. I thought Ninja was
ninjas.
already in the game.
Yeah, they were. They were before. That's like that was the only other Mario 2 thing they had, I think. But I think that's all the Mario 2 content they had in the game.
Best Mario Brothers game.
I'm still kind of bummed that Super Mario Land was also relegated to just a power up and not a theme.
Yeah.
If they had a Mario Land
that,
2 theme,
Mario Land 1 and 2 are my favorite Mario games, and they're also like
Mario Land 2 is really good. Mario Land 1 is very
underrated.
basic.
Yeah, but like that's kind of the
Mario Land 1
has
has really good. Mario Land 1 has really good aesthetics. I really like the worlds and design of Mario Land 1. I just think that as a game, I like the plane section.
To me, Mario Land 1 feels like the proper Super Mario Brothers 2. Like it's better than Lost Levels, and I would also argue better than Super Mario Brothers 2. Like it just
definitely
feels like
definitely better than Lost Levels.
It feels like an actual direct upgrade to Super Mario Brothers 1.
I don't necessarily think it feels like an upgrade. It feels to me more like Super Mario Brothers 1 on handheld with random plane sections thrown in.
Yeah, but it's got like really cool theming and like badass music.
It does have
and, like,
very
new
cool
enemies
theming
and stuff. It's like
I miss
theming.
those
The
kinds
music's
of
really
Mario
good
Land
in
games.
Land.
Yeah,
the music,
Mario
the Tri
Land 2
Kingdom
is
theme is
fantastic. Yeah,
excellent stuff. Mario Land 2 though is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of Mario Land 2.
I miss Wario Land.
No, I don't. I don't.
What it
Wario Land killed off Mario Land, so.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. But Wario Land is also awesome.
New Super Mario Land. Bring back the plane section.
That would be interesting.
I've literally had this in my mind for ages as like a concept. One of the weirdest things I find in Super Mario Land is obviously you've got like Rosalina, Princess of Space, whatever, Peach, Princess of Mushroom Kingdom, whatever.
Yeah.
And then like Daisy's the princess of like 3-4 different kingdoms. are all like everyone I think thinks that she's only the princess of a desert themed kingdom because of Sahara Desert and
Sarasa
Sarasa
Land.
Yeah.
the first level being a desert, but technically she's also the princess of the Chinese themed kingdom, the Easter Island themed kingdom. What is it, like Caribbean? The one, it's got the UFO and palm trees and stuff.
Sarasa's just it's basically just like all of of like Asia. It's basically what Daisy's controlling.
It's just really strange. So I've always thought retcon that, so it's just the desert, and have like a Chinese themed, like where the whole game is like the Chai Kingdom, and it's all China themed, and then you introduce the plane sections back, but also the submarine sections, and maybe even a new one, like I don't know, train or a minecart.
Make Daisy incredibly rich.
Different. I wouldn't. This is where Daisy fans would get mad at me. If I was making a new Super Mario Land, I wouldn't even include Daisy in it.
No, you wouldn't.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
just make
include
Wario the villain again.
I would bring Tatanga back as the villain, but I'd have it be a surprise. But I would make it the Chai Kingdom, retcon Daisy out of there, and introduce a new Chinese themed princess. Just really hammering, because I think in my mind it's like Japanese developer made the Mushroom Kingdom, which is very Western themed. It's like very much a Western style castle aesthetic.
I'm
But
pretty
a
sure
unique
for
contrast
the,
to that would be like Chinese, Asian, Japan style castle and aesthetic and stuff like that.
I might be
do-
misremembering, but I think for one of the first Good Morning Source gamings, I used like Mario Land music as like the intro because it's so good.
Yeah, I think you did. It is so
Mario
good.
Land has such good music.
Should just put some on now. Put it on for the stream in the background. Like do that and then reintroduce the plane sections, and then I was thinking like as a world map sort of thing, have it be like various islands, and Mario can use the plane to fly to the different islands, and that's where the plane sections actually come in. Like you have like plane mini games while flying across the world map and
Oh,
stuff
that
like
would
that,
be
and it'd be
neat.
really cool. Yeah. And you can't get like Tatanga, although you don't know it's him yet. He's like as his spaceship dressed up as one of them dragons, the Chinese dragons. And it's like in a volcano area that Mario can't get to because it's surrounded by clouds and volcanic ash. And you're trying to collect these things from the 7 other islands to open this up. I've thought a lot about this idea. So I feel
Nintendo's
like
been collaborating with people. Go ask Nintendo.
Nintendo, let me make a Mario.
I did that N64 lineup video this week, and I guess we can talk about that in a little bit. But like one of the comments I keep getting on it is like outside of people reminding me that Blast Core was in fact on Rare Replay. Sorry. The other comment is like people saying, "Oh, we're totally not getting N64 online. We're gonna get Game Boy instead," which I feel like is a really weird take. But like, if I can just play more
What?
Mario Land, sure.
I mean, we
Game
should get
Boy.
both. I see why people think we'd get Game Boy next because it's just easier. But I mean, Nintendo 64 is the next logical one after Super Nintendo. But then again, oh wait, what came first? The Game Boy came first, didn't it?
Yeah. But the Game Boy also came out before like the Super Nintendo did, so
No, that's what I meant.
going
The
in
Game
any
Boy came-
chronological
yeah.
order.
No, that's what I meant. The Game Boy came before the Super Nintendo. Sorry, that's what I was asking.
I think it's just people projecting what they want to see next and not.
Yes.
I think it's people being pessimistic. I think people want to see 64, but they don't expect it, and they're just like, "Oh, Nintendo just do Game Boy."
Well, I mean, I don't care about N64. I prefer Game Boy, but N64 just seems like the most makes sense thing to do.
I just want N64 because
It would take any.
my list is really badass, and I want all those games, or at least a good
The
majority
most
of those
recent
games on my Switch.
The most recent update had that I think it was something
JIT
for
compiler, which is
right.
usually used for emulating newer systems, which would point to N64, but I think it also points to like Dreamcast because there was that interview recently with like the Sega Ages people that were like, "Yeah, we're really close to emulating Dreamcast now."
I feel like they wouldn't only put it to use for Dreamcast though.
You know what?
But it's generally useful.
Yeah,
I'm
it
just,
would-
I'm
Screw
just
Game-
saying
screw
it might be
Game
there
Boys.
for one thing first before the other. That's
Screw
right.
Game Boy, screw Nintendo 64, give me Dreamcast and GameCube.
No,
Skip all the way
ew,
up to there. That's what I
stinky.
want. Or Sega Saturn. I'll take Sega Saturn.
I don't want GameCube games. I don't want that stinky cube ruining my beautiful
I want
Switch
GameCube
console.
games because I want to be able to play Chibi Robo, not
I
in
want to play
Japanese.
Geist. Yeah, great library.
Yeah, I want to play
Yes.
Geist and I want to play Chibi Robo. There is literally no other reason to have GameCube online other than to get those two games up.
The Geist and Chibi.
Geist and Chibi Robo. System sellers.
Oh my god. So yeah, like so I made that cute little video. I made that adorable little video about the N64 lineup, and it wasn't tied to any rumor or anything. It was just
you just
me.
wanted to do
Yeah,
it.
I thought it'd be a cute little fun discussion, and it's really funny because there's like a couple there's like this like one comment on that video. I'm trying not to like be really like spiteful towards people, but there was like one guy that was like, because there was one guy that thought it was a video regarding an announcement about N64 Online, which it wasn't, but like whatever. I don't blame anyone for being confused. But then someone replied that was like, well, that's what Game Explain do. They trick you and they to make it seem like they're smarter than you. And I'm like, this is my video.
Oh wow!
idea.
What? Someone's got a vendetta. Jeez.
I want to not
It was a
spend
good video. It was a
hundred-
good video though. Like
Yeah.
I was listening to it the other day.
I had a lot of fun.
Both, I
making
have
it.
no idea what that robot game was that Andre mentioned.
Oh,
Literally no clue.
Body Harvest? Is that the one you're
No,
thinking?
not
of?
Body Harvest. It was like he said it was like a platformer game or something where you played as a robot.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
I don't
There's
know
a
what
lot
it's
of
called.
really weird N64 games. Listen, like that entire video is a 1 hour long ploy for me to say I really want Resident Evil 2 and Quake on the Switch. Like that is the end game of that video. That's like literally the only reason why I made that video is so I could say yes, please put RE2 Classic and Quake on the Switch. That's it. Like that's I could have made
Wheels.
I could have
Andre was talking about.
Oh yeah. I could have made a tweet. I didn't make a tweet. I really wanted to make a
Made an hour-long video with Andre from Game Explain.
But instead everyone told me how wrong I was because Blast Core wasn't on because Blast Core is on Rare Replay. It's funny, there's a couple goofs in that video. We were just grateful enough to cut out one of them, which was this is embarrassing. Apparently, like, half of Source Gaming has, like, the same shared mass delusion of F-Zero not being on the SNES Online app.
See, I said it was on there, didn't I? Like,
No,
I
you
remember
didn't. You were like, is it not?
Yeah, that was. I didn't because you showed me your list, and I was like, you should put F-Zero X on there. You went back to me saying, oh no, F-Zero is the original F-Zero is not even on the SNES Online, and I haven't used the app, so.
It's so weird.
Like,
There's
oh,
like,
was it not? Okay, sure then.
there's like, I've talked to several people about that list, and I said like, yeah, Blast Core isn't on Rare Replay, and like, yeah, F-Zero isn't on SNES Online, and everyone was like, yeah, that sounds correct. It wasn't until mid discussion that Andre actually opened up the SNES Online app and went, oh, it's right there. I was like,
shit.
F-Zero is on there?
yeah, it is on there.
Zero's on there, yeah.
I thought it was.
I thought it wasn't. What the hell?
Yeah,
I thought it was, but I just took your word for it.
Yeah,
which I
took your
think
word 'cause you
think that says less about our impeccable fact checking skills and more about how little all of us have played the SNES Online app.
Yeah.
That is
That we
I
just
don't
don't
play that
remember
one.
what's on it.
only played Kirby.
only use the NES Online app to play Zelda 2, and that's it.
Yeah,
I've
it's,
never used this. I remember looking through your list, you did mention Animal Forest, Japan instead of Quake, like you had on your list. Definitely.
I thought that was a cute, smart idea.
Yeah, I don't remember you mentioning it in the video.
I do. It's much later, unless Liquid cut it out. But it's in there. I think I just was like, oh, by the way, I said this in my notes.
Oh, right, maybe it was at the very, very end then.
Yeah, it's
think
near
I
the
could-
end. 'Cause I didn't make a big hoopla about it. I was too I was on my Quake binge. I really wanted to talk about
Now you,
Quake
now you
1.
know I didn't watch the final 3 minutes for some reason. got like 56 minutes in and was like, yeah, okay, this is enough now. Like, I've got to go on to do something.
But that was a really
Heard
fun,
everything.
cute little discussion, and we had a grand old time. And it'd be cool to do more of those. I try not to do a lot of discussions because I feel like they're too easy of content. But I felt like that was like a unique enough topic because it wasn't tied to anything specifically. It's just two dorks talking about the N64.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
I'm
was
glad.
a
Made me really
coincidence
want to
that
play
the update
Snowboard
happened
again.
too.
And the update happening with the
There was a
really
few
well
people
timed.
saying that, like, yeah, thanks for reminding me about Snowboard Kids.
Yeah,
It's
well,
like,
that's
you're
like,
welcome. Yeah.
I've had 1080 snowboarding I need to play again, but I love Snowboard Kids, and I've had that on my mind the last few days because I've been kind of wanting them to make a sequel. I
Yeah.
found like I do not understand this. So Snowboard Kids is made by Atlas. The DS one looks the most like an Atlas game, but it's also the worst one. But like, I was looking at the original and I was looking at the characters because I was trying to remember who the secret character is in the first game, and like all the character designs and then their actual like bio information just do not make sense. These do not add up. It's like someone looked so like I'll send you pictures of some of the characters you can put on screen and then tell me what you think, how old you think these characters are meant to be.
Oh,
me
it's
see
like
if I
it's
can-
like a Splatoon thing where they look 9, but they're actually like 22 or something.
What?
Let me see if I can find the two that I had in mind.
Yeah, because like Pearl and Marina look like they just graduated kindergarten, but they're actually like 21 or something.
But Pearl's 21, 22 now, and
21,
Marina's 19 now.
Do they actually celebrate birthdays in the Splatoon world?
Well,
Like in real world?
Okay, so in Splatoon, the Splatoon 2 is the whole point of the fact that 2 years have passed, so they do acknowledge the fact that time does pass.
Oh, that's
Time does
adorable.
pass, yeah.
That's adorable.
They don't
Like, the
celebrate their
the
birthdays, but they do acknowledge it.
I think the Squid Sisters 16 in the first game and 18 in the
17.
Wow,
17,
that is a character design. Holy shit.
so these two characters specifically.
I'd
Them
assume
up
they're
on-
in like their 20s.
Well, put them up on stream. So
Yeah, let me put them up on stream first so I can
I know there's a bit of a lag delay from when
yeah,
we're
there's like a
talking. and when
30 there's like a
actually
30
appears.
second. You just give it a second.
Here, let's so how old do you guys think they are?
Like 25, maybe 20, 26. The lady looks kind of like she's in her 40s or 30s. Honestly, the guy looks like he might be 30s.
Yeah,
Really?
I'm gonna say like late 20s, early 30s.
I'm gonna go with what Nan's probably assuming towards. I bet the man is 12, and I bet the lady is 16.
Colin is the closest. They're
Yeah,
both 10 years old.
They're
They're
what?
both
They're
20?
cut out.
Are 10 years old according to the game.
Oh my lord!
What?
Like
Oh
every
my.
character, I mean, it's Snowboard Kids specifically.
I
Literally,
guess,
like,
yeah.
Insane.
Every
I don't-
character from like the first two Snowboard Kids games, like either 10 or 11. And like not
Oh,
except
wow.
for, like maybe Slash, who's the main character, the guy with the big nose. None of them look it at all.
Oh my gosh. What do you mean
Those
I
two
don't
are
look at all?
Those two were the standout ones for me because I was like, "How the fuck are you trying to tell me that
Are you,
10 years old?"
are you trying to tell me your
What?
10-year-old son wasn't a bodybuilder?
That
You have
that
no idea.
that guy is a little too well endowed. I mean, they're both a little too well endowed.
Yeah.
To
For this is Atlas. What are you
that
doing?
man
This is
straight up has bulge. It's
He has an 8-pack.
fucking with me.
This is like Persona 3 Atlas
Yeah.
making year-old to look like this.
It's weird.
I don't get it. And this because this is the weird thing. They made like SBK Snowboard Kids. I would argue they made them like fuller, but more anime-esque looking. I would argue that some of them look younger than they do here, but they're all been aged up to be like 16 to 18 now in that game.
Oh boy, it's Spazzy.
Spazzy was
We got
typing
fifth
something.
person here.
Hello, Spazzy. Are you gonna say something?
Hello?
Just really wanted to be a part of this. He really wanted to get his words in on Snowboard Kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that game is weird.
I
That's all I wanted to say. That's a weird game. So,
think it's a great game. Personally, the first two are really fun. The DS one is trash.
also, those Gauntlet games that were basically from like the N64, and then I think there were kind of ports of it on Dreamcast and PS2, the Gauntlet Legend games that Colin brought up.
Yeah.
Games are so good. I can't find, because they're like dungeon crawlers, but they're like arcadey hack and slash, and I can't find anything that's great at any good.
They are good. And everyone called me a crazy person for including it on my initial list.
Mm-hmm.
Do
I
that. That's
don't think I'd heard what it was. Never knew what it was.
you should check it out. Like you can definitely find it somewhere on some platform. Like I think the Dreamcast was the best because the Dreamcast, a lot like the N64, had those 4 controller ports just built in. So
They
like,
made a new Gauntlet that's
did, but
very
it
good.
sucked.
No.
Which Gauntlet are you talking about? Because the last
So-
Gauntlet I remember was like a weird single player Gauntlet. Which
Oh, no.
Perfect
There
Gauntlet.
was one that came out in 2014
oh really?
that's like, yeah, on modern platforms, and it's like actually fantastic. It was published by WB. It's really good. Like a lot of my friends really like it.
2014 by Arrowhead. It's on. Was released for PS4 and Windows only.
Yep.
I will 100% buy that, and I will stream it with whoever wants to stream.
Hopefully they bring it to Switch. That'd be pretty badass.
Yeah, man, it's like Gauntlet games are kind of like Diablo if you don't want to like think or grind as much.
Yeah.
Works for
That's
me.
basically what it is. Yeah.
They're Diablo, except you can actually like pick up and play. You don't have to like get invested into it too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like if you've ever played any of the old like NES era or before even like Gauntlet games, it's the same basic concept. You're just traversing a maze, like you can hop in and out. Like if you have a friend over, they can just start playing. You don't have to worry much about levels and this and that. Like there is leveling, but not. It's once again, it's not Diablo. It's not. It doesn't have those RPG elements really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something like I saw people bring up about on your Nintendo 64 list is I just suddenly realized would be great on there is Sin and Punishment. Like
Yeah, I
I
didn't
really enjoy that game
didn't-
on the 64, and I think
I didn't want to go
Cool.
too ham with like the Japanese exclusive stuff.
that one's a weird one because I mean it was Japanese exclusive obviously when it came out, but then it got translated and released over here on the Wii. So, but like
that
on
game
the
was already translated because it was the voice lines were already in English. Yeah.
voice lines are in English, but the text none of the text was. But then NST actually translated it for the Wii Virtual Console port
I
of
own
the
that
game.
version.
I own that version.
Weird.
That's like I think that's how most people own that the Sin and Punishment, the Wii Virtual Console one, because it was like a big deal when they released it. It was like the first time a Japan exclusive game was being launched on the service by Nintendo. I mean, it did so well that it caused Nintendo to make a sequel on the Wii.
Nobody
It's
bought
also-
it again.
it's a really good game. It's a shame. I really like the Sin and Punishment characters and story. Even if
And
like,
Star
the plot-
Successor was better than the first one.
yeah, Star Successor has more stuff happening on screen, and I like the characters more. They actually do more with the two characters. So as much as I like the plot, actually following the story of Sin and Punishment is just a mind fuck of complete nonsense. It's you just suddenly introduce the characters and they seem to act like they've known each other for ages. They've been like long-standing characters, and you're like, who the hell are you? Then they turn into some sort of tiger and attack you, and you're like, what's going on in this game? I don't understand.
There's so
Such a
many
cool
games that there's so many games that kind of take that on rails or Fox sort of approach. Like Panzer Dragoon, obviously, is another one.
Mm.
All anybody ever really thinks about in that genre stuff. Well, I'm gonna jump out. I just wanted to talk about how great Gauntlet was and how stupid those character designs were. I don't want to take up too much time since we have a full house today. But carry on, boys.
For sure, drive by Spazzy.
I think the bad thing about wanting third parties on the N64 is that a lot of IPs and their owners are either dead or scattered around weirdly. Yeah, but not really. Like Resident Evil 2 and Quake and StarCraft, like the examples I used, like they're owned by their respective IP owners. Like
Yeah. And you know which IP is, or the owner is still around and was a Nintendo 64 game and a high quality one at that?
yeah, like I think it's only gonna get weird if you start trying to go
I was
down
asking a question. I wasn't making a statement. I was asking a question.
Oh, what could you repeat it then?
Do you know which really high quality Nintendo 64 game, third party platformer with the IP holder is still around and prominent on the Nintendo 64?
Go
What was the
ahead.
question again?
Say it.
Say it with me. It begins with a G, ends in an X.
Oh, Gex.
Shut up.
Sorry,
G,
sorry,
baby.
I didn't mention Gex.
64.
I didn't mention Gex 64. I after I finished recording, I was like, ah, shit. I didn't.
Yeah.
But I
Turned
should
to your
have.
photo of Gex on the wall, and you were like, "I failed you." How could you forget? 64
I always-
Enter the
I don't know
Gecko.
why. Whenever I think of Gex, I
64
only.
title.
Whenever I think of Gex, I only think of it as a 3DO game. That's just how my brain works. No, but
You
like.
can be forgiven.
Like Capcom could very easily put RE2. I mean, that's the reason. I mean, I don't want to like reiterate everything I say in the video, but like, I feel like RE2 would be like really badass because I don't think Capcom's ever gonna re-release classic RE2 or classic RE3. I think at this point, like, they're just gonna stick to the remakes forever.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think RE2 would be really cool because I feel like any re-release they've done of that has been based off of the PS1 version.
Yeah,
It's
and the
the
N64
original
version
version.
is better.
Yeah, so
And-
that would be a really cool one to have on there. And it's not exactly like, we'll see what are the other Capcom games they could release on this platform. Mega Man 64, which is just Mega Man Legends.
Yeah, and I
What
think
else
there's
did
like one
Capcom
other.
make?
There's like one other Capcom game on the N64. They didn't produce a lot.
But Capcom on the Nintendo in that era, Capcom were they were very arcade focused in that era, honestly. Like, or
Magical
PS1
Tetris
focused.
Challenge. That was the other one.
They can't release that though because it's got Mickey Mouse characters.
Oh, yeah, sad day.
R.I.P. No, like like Capcom, they were all so focused on the arcades and the PlayStation that it was like Mega Man 64, Magical Tetris Challenge, and Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
That was it.
And the Quake one, I mean, like, Quake 64 is like a really good port of Quake. Plus, it like doesn't have any of the Nine Inch Nails references, so like, there's no like licensing issues. You could just drop it onto the service. I don't know. It'd be really cool. I think like I mean it like. People were I mean not people but just like I know it's generally weird to be like, oh, why would you like put so much investment on third party games on these online services, but I mean that's like the main bulk of these of NES and SNES Online, at least as far as like updates are concerned. It's all been third party stuff, which is really good. I think people just sleep on it because it's stuff they've never heard of. But whenever I'm like, oh yeah, whenever I hear people go like, oh, the games they're adding are bad, I'm just like, you just haven't played them. I know you haven't because you're just saying that because you haven't played them.
That's not true. That's not true.
That is
Don't
true.
lie.
Absolutely,
Don't
it's
lie.
absolutely true.
Don't lie about it. Name me a game and I'll tell you if it's good or not.
No, I'm not you. I'm never trusting your judgment ever.
That's the first law. If Phantom thinks it's good, you just take it the opposite way. If Phantom
If I think a game
take it
is
the opposite
good,
way.
if I think a game is good, it's either
Phantom only likes it if it
I
has
played
big
it.
Sugoi eyes.
What do you mean? That's not true. I like some games that aren't anime.
Some
Anime
games.
styled. Let's see.
Game one.
Guilty Gear, I guess.
Oh, Valhalla.
Guilty Gear is an anime style
That was
game.
Valhalla. Oh no, I hate Valhalla.
I can hear you sweating over there. I can hear you sweating, Phantom.
Would Mega Man count?
Non-anime game. Mega
Does
Man, I
Mega
would
Man
argue, is anime.
Mega Man is counts as anime.
It's
yeah.
very anime.
Yeah.
Oh god, I'm very strict with what I call anime when I don't call anime.
Hear
Like,
that
if it-
sweat
like, if it's-
dripping down.
like, I'm very strict, and I was like, oh, this game was literally based off an anime. It's a licensed game. Yeah, this is anime. The Mega Man, yeah, I wouldn't call this anime, even though it has like the art style is very influenced or like close to that thing.
Fucking Mega Man 8 has anime cutscenes. Like, it's
Okay, look. I still think it's not an anime. Like, it's not like the origin of it is an anime. That's what I'm thinking of, or like something that's like really animated, like a visual novel or something like that.
Actually, that's not even true because like the entire art style is lifted from Astro Boy.
Look, I'm not, look, yes,
Like,
that's true. But what I'm saying is that Mega Man itself wasn't an anime. So that's why when I think of Mega Man, I'm not thinking of anime.
Everything is anime. That's the trap that you've fallen into.
I guess like the only. Oh shit.
And he's been
I guess Sonic. That is
he
not
just
anime.
got fucking bamboozled.
Sonic, I guess.
Like wasn't anime but became anime.
That is okay. No, you can't count that one.
Sonic definitely is not anime.
Depends which Sonic you started with.
Sonic,
Adventure onwards, it's anime.
Wait, let me check my Arms is an anime, I guess. Same thing.
Sonic X.
My first
I was
Sonic was
doing
Sonic CD, the one with anime cutscenes.
My first Sonic was Sonic Advance 3. So
The very first Sonic thing I ever
That's the most
encountered was
anime
Sonic
of all the
X.
Sonic games.
What
man,
it
so-
was the anime.
With Abiday.
the Sonic X Japanese theme, Sonic Drive, is like too good for the show.
But the English theme is
I actually like the English theme better.
No, but like Sonic
go.
Drive sounds like something that should be either from Dragon Ball or done by Jam Project, and it's like really, really good.
I won't lie, the thing that got me started and hooked on games was the Kirby anime when I watched it like in 2002.
Hell yeah.
Kirby Right Back at You is like one of those cases. It's
Legendary.
like Pokemon. The Kirby opening and the Pokemon opening are so much better in English than their Japanese counterparts. Especially Kirby. The Pokemon one's just iconic. That the Japanese one is basically forgotten about. It's like
Yeah.
universally considered worse. But like the Kirby one is such a different like feel in Japanese to the English one, and the English one is so much cooler.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Kirby,
fantastic.
the Kirby anime, the Japanese themes, the theme song and a lot of its music were actually like reused in Kirby Air Ride. So a lot of Kirby Air Ride music is music from the Kirby Japanese anime. It's so weird.
I mean, I guess it makes sense. Sakurai worked on both at the same time.
Yeah.
So
Where I need that re-released somewhere. Where is it?
this is what
It hasn't
GameCube
been.
Online,
Yeah.
GameCube Switch Online is
Ugh.
Kirby Air Ride, Chibi Robo,
Well,
and
no,
Dice.
actually, I was talking about the Kirby anime, but Kirby Air Ride too.
if you want to watch if you want a re-release of the Kirby anime, you just open up your Nintendo video on your Nintendo 3DS and watch it.
That's
Go
only
onto your
one
Nintendo Wii, onto
episode.
the Kirby Adventure, the Kirby Right Back at You app on the Nintendo Wii, and you
Oh
watch
man, I forgot about that. That never actually came out in the States. That was only in Europe.
really.
Yeah, so
Wait,
weird.
what? There's a thing like that?
That's bizarre.
There was an app.
Yeah, there's an app on the Wii in Europe.
I was
which
so
had the
jealous.
first 50, only the first 50 episodes of the Kirby
Yeah,
app. You could just
I
watch them on
wanted that so bad.
You guys
You
are
guys
all
got the
wrong.
Kirby
The
Anniversary Collection, which
the
we
real-
didn't get.
The real
I only
objective
have
way
like
of
3
watching
episodes though.
the real objectively best way of watching video content was like loading up the YouTube app on the Wii, like not the YouTube app,
Oh,
but the YouTube browser like site
yeah.
on the internet browser on the Wii and dealing with that. By the way, the Wii's internet browser for its time was really phenomenal.
It's not that bad. honestly.
Yeah.
At
I just didn't- I never really used them much.
time, it was like better than any other console internet browser. Like even the PS3 internet browser like chugged like crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty surprising.
I mean, everyone knows the peak gamer way to watch stuff was the Game Boy Advance video player.
Hell
Oh
By-
man,
Uh,
that
like
was
cartridge is
also
Sonic X with 3
incredible.
episodes on it. And watch
I,
it.
I
in
got the
240p on
Pokemon
the-
one, and I have a Nickelodeon one with
I've got a
like
Nickelodeon one.
SpongeBob.
Yeah, I got
Fairly Odd
SpongeBob
Parents.
one, a Sonic X one, and a Yu-Gi-Oh one. I think.
I
had
have
the
I
Pokemon one as
have
well.
I need to
I
find
have-
the Sonic one.
I have one Nintendo video Game Boy Advance cartridge, and it's the one with the pizza delivery episode of SpongeBob.
Yes, that's the
epi-
one that I have.
episode of Fairly Odd Parents where he's like 30. And
it goes like,
one episode of
Grown
All
Up.
Grown Up that I never watched because All Grown Up is a terrible show.
No, it's not. What are you talking? Oh my god!
no.
All Grown Up is not good.
Oh no!
I like All Grown Up.
All of the Rugrats spin-offs are terrible. They're-
Okay, no, okay. The Angelica and Susie one that looks really bad. All Grown Up though is cool. I like All Grown Up.
Do you think
The theme
Nintendo
song
will
is great.
raise the price of NSO when we get N64 games? No. They didn't do it
No.
with SNES games. I don't think they're going to
Yeah.
do it with N64 games.
Those games aren't.
They're trying to justify the service as is, and it's already
Yeah.
not justified enough yet.
Yeah.
I think they're just going to keep adding stuff to it.
When was the
having
last
a
time
look
we had games added?
Like last
Oh
month.
man, yeah.
And before that,
Actually, well,
Those-
technically, the
those are
last
long
time they
time.
added games to the service was last week with the Fire Emblem
okay, that was in one
anniversary.
area though,
Besides-
wasn't it?
besides
They
that,
added
yeah.
Fire Emblem to the Japanese one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was only the Japanese one.
They would have done that because it was Fire Emblem's
Anniversary.
Fire Emblem's anniversary last week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what about before that? How long ago was it?
The last one before that would have been the one I was just talking about, like a month ago, where they
And then
added
before that one,
probably like
The fact that they could only, the fact that they had to wait for the
Yeah.
30th anniversary to like add a Fire Emblem.
well, I thought they added just a
Yeah.
different version of the Fire Emblem because Fire Emblem was already there.
Wait, are we talking about SNES or NES?
NES.
NES.
Oh,
Oh,
wait.
NES.
Fire
yeah,
Emblem
Fire-
was already there.
Yeah,
There
Fire
was a-
Emblem,
There was a Fire Emblem game that was
came out
already
last
there.
year on the Nintendo Switch.
Oh,
on
so
it.
they added the save state things.
They added like two.
That's
I
what
thought
they
it was like
did.
they added a special version and added
Yeah,
a
they did.
special version. I thought
Sure.
it's something
Two
Never
like
mind.
that.
special
I
versions.
take,
Yeah.
I take it back. I take back what I said.
Yeah.
They may as well have added Fire Emblem Gaiden or something. What does a special version even do? Start you on the
It's
last
just a
map
save
with every
state.
character.
It just makes you really
Oh.
badass. That's
Yeah.
what it does.
It translates the game into English. There you
Makes
go.
you, makes you epic.
Ah,
Translates the whole game into English, but you have to start on the final map.
But you can't save at all.
You can't save.
I actually have a. This is completely off topic, but it kind of reminded me of this, and this is like a cool little general question. We don't usually have topics that are pertaining to just random like off the cuff ideas. So here we go. What is the last video game rumor that you were like made aware of? And I don't mean like they're gonna announce Mario 2. No, like I'm talking like the last, like, if you do XYZ things, like if you complete like a certain
oh,
set
one
of
those.
tasks, like
Yeah.
you will
Um,
unlock or see XYZ
Schoolyard.
in a video game.
Oh man, that must have
I
been so long ago.
Yeah, I
Before
remember
the
like,
internet.
Oh, not
I
even
feel like
familiar.
the current stuff where people are like, "Don't do this in Animal Crossing because it will brick your game."
Those are
Or something
jokes.
I've been seeing on Twitter. I mean, like they're obviously all jokes, but those are like very equivalent to the schoolroom
Yeah, I
thing.
guess you're right.
Don't
It kind of is, but
don't
I'm
get three
not.
fake paintings and stack them up in a vertical line in your room, and then put the Blathers photo in between because the game will just crash.
I don't want to talk about like fear mongering shit though, because that goes into like the whole Valve thing. But like genuinely, like what is like the last time you heard like oh, you can unlock fucking Waluigi in Mario USA? Like what is the
Oh man, I think
Oh,
the
no.
last one actually, the last one I heard definitely was like a really long time ago. It had to have been before like I don't even remember like encountering those kinds of things after the internet started getting like more advanced because it would just be too easy to disprove them. But I remember one was Waluigi and Mario 64 DS.
Yeah, that was the one I remember. That one.
It was
the
like
ones
that's
that-
the
ones
last
that
one
I
you
remember-
remember?
or something. That was the last one I remember. Yeah, I don't think there were any others I can really think of after that.
I mean, there are a few from eons ago I can remember. The Pokemon ones were the one. No, the biggest one for me was Sonic Heroes. How to unlock Team Metal Sonic. You had to play the multiplayer mode a certain amount of times, but you had to use the secret metal skins of the multiplayer characters and beat the CPU on the hardest difficulty something like 30 times in a row using the metal skins. And then you would unlock Team Metal Sonic, which was like Metal Sonic, Eggman, and Chaos as a team. And I actually did this when I was younger, and it was like, what have I done wrong to have not unlocked? Where is my Metal Sonic? It's the fact that it tells you you've got to put in a special button input in the multiplayer, and you'll unlock like a weird metal skin for the characters, and that does actually work. The secret ends, whereas the schoolyard thing was like keep going on.
There's a few of those types of things that are like stuck on game facts, like that people still hold up as like a truth, which is really weird. The last one I can remember, because in retrospect it makes no fucking sense, is Portal having a good and bad ending. Has anyone ever had this experience?
Never heard of that.
Okay, so spoilers for a game from 2007. But there's a puzzle at the very last test chamber where you're on a lift and it's like slowly lowering into like this big fiery pit, and then the idea is that you just you shoot a portal and you get out of there, and then you actually play through the rest of the game, the last third of the game. But apparently, like, there are people who just stood on the lift like to their death. And that's the bad ending. And what's really weird about that is that not only did I like actually hear this from people on Xbox Live who were telling me to avoid the bad ending, who were when I bought Portal Still Alive on Xbox, like they were telling me to avoid the bad ending. But apparently, like in the Portal 2 post-mortem, like Eric Wolpaw, the writer, was saying like their playtesters were also like putting their controllers down at that section because they just thought that was the ending of the game. And it's extra weird in retrospect because like there's no credits roll when you die in Portal. It just reloads the last save.
Yeah.
So were people just like, they just die, it reloads the last save, and they're just like, I don't know what to do, and they just close out of the game?
Oh, wow.
That's the end.
Also, I found
weird.
I went for Google on Games Radar. They still have the Team Medal Sonic sheet for Sonic Heroes listed.
Oh my god!
I'll read out the full thing. Team Medal Sonic. How to unlock Team Medal Sonic? You must get all emblems in the game. Once you do, you have to play versus mode 50 times. Both teams are medal. You can become medal by holding A+Y after you select a stage in versus mode. Once you have completed that, you will face Metal Sonic again with all characters in their medal form. If you beat Metal Sonic, you'll have his team on first player mode on Versus. When you complete Team Metal Sonic's story, then instead of fighting Metal Sonic, you'll be forced to fight regular Sonic. The characters in this team are Metal Sonic, Eggman, and Chaos.
Oh my god.
It's a thing that's still online, still listed on the cheats, submitted by Mystery Man. So, actually, no, sorry, not submitted by Mystery Man.
Looked up
below. Submitted by Evan Zip. This is your doing.
I mean, that might be it, like, because someone, whoa. Why did I open that? Anyway, because Cody in chat says, like, yeah, there's, like, some schoolyard rumor stuff going on in Breath of the Wild. I think it might just be it. It might just be that we're also, like, older, and, like, kids, like, when you're a kid, like, you're, like, even with, like, the internet and everyone having a smartphone, like, the world being a big game of telephone is probably, like, still a thing.
True, yeah.
Like, I imagine there are probably some
when
kids
you don't know, like, your way around the internet and you're that young, you're probably,
I'm sure
like...
there's, like, people that, like, when Smash Ultimate came out, they were like, dude, D or something, you know, like...
Yeah.
That. Because, I mean, to be fair, even people are like, yeah, they're totally going to be secret fighters in Ultimate, even though Sakurai said otherwise. Like, no, they're totally... He's bruising us, like... Honestly, I think the last game I can think of that had that kind of, like, that level of, like, there's gonna be so much hidden shit was, like, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Because everyone thought, like, there was just gonna be so much, like, crazy shit built into it. Like, it was gonna be, like, this crazy, just like, blow your mind, man.
Trying to find one from ages ago. There was one of those sort of rumors that I heard, which is, something with Super Mario 64, the original, where you can fight Hammer Bro behind the waterfall in the courtyard. And I'm trying to remember what it was. I'm trying to find it online.
Ocarina is like full of that stuff. Like, there's so much about Ocarina and Majora's. Like, You can beat the Running Man, you know, and stuff like that.
Oh, you can beat the Running Man is an infamous one.
Yeah.
For me, it was really getting fooled around with like videos of like things of not knowing at the time like people were just messing around with videos. I remember like in one instance like there was a video of this dude playing Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, and he walked in the grass like after Little Root Town, and he found a Deoxys. I was like, "Whoa, how do you do that?
What?
How do you do that?" And there's some other ones though where like it turned out that they were actually real, but as when I was a kid, I just didn't know. So for example, like the Azure Flute in Pokemon like Diamond, Pearl, and
Oh,
Platinum, I was like,
yeah.
"Oh, there's a
I
you can get
love
Arceus." So like I like there's no so like put the action replay, and like at that time I was using a lot of action replays, so I was like, oh snap, these
Yeah,
are things that like
I did that too.
you can mess with the game to make these things happen, and then like 10 years later you found out, oh, these things like the Azure Flute and Arceus was supposed to actually be in the game, but it never came out. So I was
Yeah,
like,
that was so weird.
and
I,
Why
then
did that never happen?
I actually remembered this topic because of like a similar thing, because yesterday I was playing the zombies mode from Call of Duty Black Ops, and we were just discussing about how like when World at War came out and like the zombies mode was like first like just this crudely made Easter egg that wasn't really like very in depth, like they didn't put a ton of time into developing it. But like you were still seeing like very crusty like 240p YouTube videos where it's like, dude, get to level 99, the final boss Hitler will show up, you know, it's like
oh my god.
and like crazy shit like that.
Trying to
Had a lot
find
of that stuff too, because
So-
Bungie was infamous with doing like really weird Easter eggs. So like Halo has like a ton of like get the golden warthog or like key people, you know, and stuff like that.
Oh, whoops, my bad. Scratch my mic.
Yeah,
Well, I'm trying to remember when I was younger, the Pokemon Red and Blue, there was a ton of ones. I was in the generation of Peekaboo, being the
my
infamous
gosh.
one. But there was one I remember which I'm trying to find, which was like you could get like a skeleton Charizard something. Like there was a secret
Missing Now?
town. It was like no, it wasn't Missing No. It
Oh.
was because I knew about Missing No and I knew you could get Missing No because I caught him. A great game just glitched out. It was like a thing where you had like take something to Bill, and then you'd go into his teleporter, and you'd be taken to like a secret city that's behind the game registers as being behind Bill's house. And like everything is slightly creepy, and you can fight like a skeleton Charizard. And it was one of those ones that's like I think people call them like poker gods now. That's what Peekaboo is listed under. I think it was like one of those type things. And I remember that one very explicitly.
I think
I'm trying to find it.
I think if anything, I kind of miss those schoolyard rumor type
I do too.
rumors, only because like it made the actual real tangible Easter eggs like almost spooky in a sense when they actually worked. Like
Yeah.
I think a big one for me was like, you know, it's like, dude, you can unlock the Neversoft logo, man, in Tony Hawk, and I'm like, bullshit.
Yeah.
And then it's like you see it, you're like, ah! Because you don't expect it. You're like, what? or any of like the I think actually like I remember being it's so silly in retrospect, but I was like genuinely freaked out by like the cake is a lie stuff in Portal, because you're like, what? Because you're so used to like, yeah, dude, if you go into the subways in GTA 4, like you'll see the Rat Man, and you're like, no, you won't. What are you talking about? But then you just like manage to get behind one wall in Portal, and there's just like scribbling on the wall that's like, oh god, I'm being like burned alive, and you're like, holy shit! It's like, you're like, how did they do that?
I found a fun poker god that I just threw. Yes, it is Phantom. That it literally it passed around as an evolution of Flareon.
Oh my god.
Here, I'll,
Why Flareon?
I don't know.
It's so
It's
fucking weird.
just Ridley.
I love this
It's
image
just-
too because of how like especially crispy it is. Like it's so
Oh,
You
it's
put
so
it in the stream,
crunchy.
Colin.
From an era
I did, yeah.
long
Yeah,
gone by.
It's from when people had
Ridley's
to like
artwork.
people had to like make sprites using like Mario Paint or something. They couldn't just like use a sprite creator.
I definitely have like most of my rumor experience comes from Pokemon because that's mostly what I played. Especially like if you're using action replay and you realize how much you can mess with the games. Like I
Yeah.
guess before going to like the big ones, like the of course like one like the major one that I still believe in is like if you keep pressing the B button while you're catching a Pokemon, it'll help you catch the Pokemon easier. And I still do it to this day, even though
Oh yeah, I think
there's no
everyone
proof of
still
that.
does that. I do that as well.
Spazzy in chat says, "What are the things you didn't know about a game that you loved for years?" And it's funny because this actually brings to another point
That's a
with
good question.
what I was saying, where it's like all the schoolyard stuff makes all the real stuff like even more special. In high
Yeah.
school, I had some friends who I had like just gotten into retro gaming. Like I kind of like was like, yeah, you should get like a Super Nintendo and like a bunch of games and stuff because it was all cheap back in high school. And I remember like we were playing through Super Mario World and we discovered Star Road. Like none of like even though the
Oh
internet
yeah.
like we were all privy to the internet, like none of us had actually heard of Star Road, so we just kind of like stumbled across it. And that was cool as shit. Because we were like, what? Because there's like secrets within secrets to get to Star Road. Because it's not even like that. It's like you there's like to get to Star Road, you have to go to like the Boo House, which I think you already have to go through a secret to get to there. And then that
Basically.
has a secret exit. And then you have to play the Star Road maps, which also have secret exits to go to the special worlds. And you're
Yeah.
like, what?
So many
That's
layers.
insane. Yeah, it's nuts.
That was. I remember being pretty stoked when I found that too. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's really good. And see, I kind of knew this because Super Mario World had this guide for, which I still own to this day. It's at my parents though, and it's like this proper like 500, 600 page guidebook.
God.
It's everything you could ever think about with Super Mario World. It covers like every single level, every single secret, every hint. It was called something like the Super Mario World Secret Handbook. And it's such a cool little book. It's like all black and white as well. Like looks like a proper old style book, not like the usual guides you would get. You know, the really big A4 ones, all in color. And I wonder what it's called. I wonder if I can find it. But it was really, really cool. Like, one
Yeah.
of my favorite
Nowadays, because of data mining, like they can't just like if they do put like a big deep Easter egg in a game, like they really have to make it like super cryptic.
Yeah.
Which to the point where it's even gotten to the point where developers have to actually like come forward and be like, no you guys, like in Arkham Asylum you missed the entire room that tells you that there's a sequel coming. Like, look, we told you this whole time that we're making Arkham City, but none of you found it. It's like because you have to do some weird like such a bizarre obscure list of criteria to get to it. It's not the same as like, oh, you gotta get a perfect score in the Smash credits and you'll unlock Toad or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like the problem with having obtuse secrets like that nowadays is that because people tend to just data mine the game,
Yeah.
stuff like that just gets discovered like pretty much instantly.
They pretty much have
Yeah.
to like if they want to pull that shit off, they basically have to make a bunch of like unreadable proprietary like file formats that just have all the stuff and they have to hide that away.
Yeah,
It's probably like so much extra effort to hide it within the code that like it's probably not even worth it.
I found the book
and that's
Mario
sad.
Guide.
Oh my
So,
god!
I was overestimating how lengthy it is. It was about 280 pages.
Unauthorized edition.
That is not
Yeah,
official.
the unauthorized,
The uncensored, fully independent edition.
Whoa.
I was the cool kid. I had the unauthorized. You all about the Star Zone and the special world and everything else.
We totally have no legal binding.
I definitely don't have any experiences where like I love the game. I play a game so often that there was something that I didn't know about. I guess the only thing would be like with Kingdom Hearts, but that's not really like something that's in the game. It's like, oh, I've played Kingdom Hearts 2. I love this game, I go on YouTube and this dude is fighting Roxas. I was like, wait, how are you doing that? I'm playing the same game as you. Why are you fighting Roxas and I'm not? And then it says like, oh, it's a final mix version that only came out in Japan. It's like, oh well, maybe if I play through the game again and try to do it just like do certain things, I can fight against Roxas. And then I was like, oh, you can't. And I was like, oh, there's an Ultima weapon? I definitely didn't know that.
I feel like that happened to me, and I can't remember what game it's for. I want to say like Harvest Moon, Friends of Mineral Town, or something. Something really random like that.
This definitely happened to me with Mother 3 because I played that game so many times, and then I remember finding out like years after I'd played it a bunch already that so at the beginning of the game there's this doorknob that gets ripped off a door and it's like thrown backwards and you don't see it again, and then it shows up at the very end of the game too, so it's like, oh, that doorknob from the very beginning. But it turns out that doorknob actually appears throughout the entire game, just in really obscure spots throughout each chapter. So it was I didn't know that, and when I played it, I think I saw it online somewhere that it was in a different place. I'm like, oh wow, is it in like every place? And it's just in every chapter, just in places I'd never think to look. So it was a small thing, but that was neat. I liked that.
I think I remember that. I think I remember stumbling across it randomly at some point and then starting to find it more and more.
Yeah,
So,
that was cute. I really liked that. Doorknob.
Weird. Well, I guess since we did like a random question, I see that you guys are talking about arcade games and the Nintendo channel.
Yeah.
Like, do you have like an arcade game that you guys like always go back to outside of Pac-Man?
Street Fighter 2.
Michael Jackson's Moonwalker.
God damn it!
No, that's not a joke. It's like I love the arcade version of Moonwalker.
I'm not saying that as a joke. I'm saying that that sounds like you. We went to the arcade.
It's so funny. Yeah, we left you outside. Left you outside while me, Matt, and Caleb played Moonwalker. And I can't do that. I can't do that for the foreseeable future. Fuck.
Yeah, because I'm already 21 now.
Yeah,
so
but there's the plane. So
yeah,
right.
I gotta do the thing where I like mod my original Xbox to run MAME or something. I gotta make a MAME cabinet in these trying times.
Just freaking find it on the archive website. You can find MAME games online. You can freaking play Darkstalkers.
Yeah, but I wanna play it on like I wanna play it on my TV with like my little arcade stick and be like
Can I connect your computer to an HDMI?
I do have a PC that's connected to my TV, so
yeah.
I think my one of those games is 1942 for the arcade. It's like a Capcom arcade plane shooter, like a world. Pilot a World War II airplane.
Yeah.
And you got to bomb ships below you and fire ships on there. The only reason this is the game I always go back and play is because I was at an arcade in Canada, of all things, killing some time, and decided to play it and managed to get the high score on it. So I was like super proud of it, and ever since then I've just always played it to see if I can always get the high score, like in every arcade I go to.
Actually, the really badass thing about Namco Museum is that it has like it has two arcade games that I also really love in it that aren't like the atypical like Pac-Man or Galaga, which is Splatterhouse and Rolling Thunder. I love those games, especially Rolling Thunder 2. Really fantastic.
I always played Street Fighter 2 because it was in this pizza place that's in my hometown, and whenever I'd go get pizza there, I'd play Street Fighter 2. And this was I would always be playing Street Fighter 2 even until like I was playing it even before like Ryu got announced in Smash too. So when Ryu got announced and he had all of the Street Fighter 2, it's that like the sound effects and everything in addition to like the other stuff from the newer Street Fighter games, I was like, holy shit. This is awesome. Ryu was like one of my mains back in Smash Wii U. I loved it so much.
Nice.
I really like Bishi Bashi, if any of you have played that.
I've never heard of it.
I never heard of that.
It's so fun. Have you played Point Blank?
What's that?
Okay.
Nope.
Point Blank is a Namco, I think it's Namco, arcade game where it's basically just a bunch of mini games where you use the gun. You play with like one other person. So like you each have like a light gun each, and you shoot the mini game, and then it'll be like you have 60 seconds to destroy as many bottles that are falling down here, and you have to reach a certain amount, otherwise you lose a life point. And you got to try and get to the end, but obviously if you lose like all 10 of your life points, and you have
So
to
is
put
it like
more
a
quarters in.
WarioWare kind of style of mini
It's
games?
kind of WarioWare
But with
style
guns?
games. WarioWare style mini games, but with light guns. It's basically the way WarioWare
That's
mini
pretty
games
cool.
are more like 60 seconds. Ishibashi is a Konami game that's basically the same thing, but is 4-player and doesn't use light guns, and uses instead other sort of buttons and stuff you'd smack and all like this. Like I'm going to put a.
Oh, I see a picture of the arcade machine here.
I'm going to put the arcade machine in the stream channel so Colin can put it up on.
That's so cool.
Also
That's
special
weird.
shout outs to Outrun and Metal Slug. Just because those games are.
I wish I had an SNK machine at my local
You do.
arcade
You
place.
own a Nintendo Switch,
Well,
which is basically
now
a
I
Neo
do,
Geo.
but-
That's not an arcade cabinet.
Yeah.
You can turn it into one very easily.
Yeah, but Ishibashi
There's a
is
new-
like a ton of absolute nonsense games that are all just rush at you super fast. Like tap the button and grow the guy's afro, but don't grow it too much.
Actually, my
try and catch the burger in the exact position so that the burger topple doesn't fall over, and try and make this bigger burger as you can. Tap the button as hard as you can, and then do one last big jump to do a proper long jump, or like run really fast but don't fall off the edge of the boardwalk. It's stuff like that that you're playing it with 2 other people, and you're all furiously smacking your buttons in front of you. It's just super energetic and super fun. And there's so many of them, and they've like progress. It's got that really strange Japanese style of humor, like hyper Ishibashi Champ, where everyone plays as like super muscly wrestlers.
Actually, my favorite
energetic referee announcer woman.
Actually, my favorite arcade game is Guitar Hero Arcade.
No, that doesn't count. That doesn't count.
Which is just Guitar Hero 3, but in a cabinet, and the guitars are always broken.
How often do you go to Chuck E. Cheese to play it?
I go to round 1 to play it. Thank you very much. And I also go there to play. I don't go to that round 1 very much. I mean, I'm not going to it now, but I can't. But like that place, they have like a pretty cool, like a few badass machines that like it kind of sucks because whenever like it's hard for me to come up with favorite arcade games, because a lot of the time I don't think of them as arcade games because I'm playing them at home. So like I'm of course only going to think of the ones that I'm immediately like if I see a cabinet for it, but there's genuinely a few that are cabinet only because they're so new. And what's that game called? It's called Bone Eater, and it's of the what's the Silent Scope Bone Eater. Do you guys know about the Silent Scope?
No idea.
Okay, so Silent Scope is a series of arcade games where the whole point is that it's got a big sniper rifle on the cabinet with like a scope that has like a little TV in it.
This is crazy. Wow.
And the TV in front of the rifle controller has like the full view of a city, but the scope actually has like a zoomed in, like you're using a real scope.
Yeah.
So they made a new game called Bone Eater that is arcade only, and that one's nuts. Not only because they like ramped up, like because it's like this crazy fast, like you have to be like fucking Sniper Wolf from Metal Gear to actually be good at it. But they even included like fans in the arcade machine. So when you're like when in game you're moving all about, there's like wind. It simulates like wind blowing on you.
That's cool.
I love arcade machines that go for like a 4D effect like that. They're so they're cheesy, but in a really neat way. Like the F-Zero arcade machine, I love that one.
Also,
That
the
one's
new
cool.
I'll put this Bone Eater image on stream. The new House of the Dead is also really good.
I don't think I played the newest one.
It's like the 7th one. It's really good because it's got that cheese. It's got that cheese you really want. Where it's like you pick up a shotgun and the main protagonist goes shotgun. It's like it's wacky. I'm trying to think what else I play. There's these one series of arcade cabinets that just have like a bunch of fighting games on it. Like they have new Sam Show, King of Fighters 14, and SNK Heroines, and Blaze Blue, and Persona 4 Ultimax, just like all on the same
That's
thing.
crazy.
Yeah,
Oh, I know what you're. I wanted to play Ultimax, and I was like, oh, if you want to play Ultimax, like emulate it, you have to download this emulator or something, or whatever, where it has like all these other arcades. Like, no, I just want the Persona 4, you know. So I was like, I remember that, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
there's I mean, otherwise, like a lot of newer arcade releases, anything by Raw Thrills is like awful. They make such garbage.
Yeah.
Like there's that Halo rail shooter. It's awful. That the
They
Halo
made that?
like yeah,
I don't
it's
know
not
about
good.
I never even heard of that.
They made the Injustice arcade machine. It's not even Injustice.
There's
it's like
an
the mobile.
Injustice arcade machine.
It's just a mobile. It's just the mobile version of Injustice.
Oh
like
no!
it's so stupid. Like, what's the point?
And the
I
one
went
thing I kind of wish was in arcades more over here, but like you never see, is rhythm arcade games. Like, because Japan loves their rhythm arcade machines.
Oh,
And
yeah.
there's so many really, really cool ones
There
out
are.
there. When I was in Japan last, the new one that was really big was a game called Waka, which is like
what's it called?
Waka, WACCA. I will find a picture of. I'll send this picture I just found. Stream channel.
The round one near me has. I mean, the round ones in general. Yeah, I've seen that.
I follow the artist on Twitter. Their art is amazing.
Waka is super, super fun. It's like one of the few rhythm games that I'm really good at. It's just like you got like it's like My, which but unlike My, where it's all just you touch on the round in a circle, this one has depth to it, and you're like sliding your hand around, doing jumps and stuff like this with it. It's crazy fun to play. Like people who are really good at it are like, it's super fun to watch them as they just slide their hand, like do a full 360 with their hands around, jump, like swapping them left and right and stuff like that. Rhythm games like this I love in arcades, and I would spend too much money if they were more common, but like you never see them over here. It's such a Japan thing.
I
My
found one.
my round one has it has one of the Project Diva games, it has Groove Coaster, and it has
I was just gonna say Groove Coaster is great.
it's got
Groove Coaster.
one of those DJ games. I don't think DJ Max, but it's like something in the same vein as that. It has that Guitar Hero arcade as I was talking about, and it also has Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm, which is
that's
actual cabinet version of Theater Rhythm is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's so
there's
cool.
a cabinet version of Rhythm Heaven.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Rhythm
there's-
Heaven arcade machine.
There's
It's
one of
basically
those.
just Rhythm Heaven 1, but like
Yeah,
it plays
it
all the
is.
games in order.
But
one of
the
those
rhythm
like-
the rhythm games that people get like especially sweaty over is like literally is the all the DDR games, all the DDR clones that they have in that arcade.
Yeah.
Like if you want to play any of those games, you just can't, because there's always this long line of like these dudes with, like track pants, and they're going fucking ham. It's
Yeah.
it's nuts.
There are some insane arcade games that people get into, like just watching people play it on the hardest difficulty, and you're like, I didn't even know humans could move this fast.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I actually one of the things that's been really nice about the Switch is that a lot of those arcade rhythm games have been coming over, because we've gotten ports of
I
like
bought
Groove
Coaster
Coaster
on the
and
Switch.
Voz
Yeah.
and Musenix.
Is it?
Yeah.
I found it in
forget.
Japan
And
after
Project
I.
Diva's coming out next month. It's really
Yeah.
neat.
Project Diva's coming out on a ton of stuff.
Yeah,
It's insane.
3DS too as well.
All the
Coaster
ones.
has Undertale music though.
Yeah.
So good, so good.
Oh,
That's the problem. Like,
Drum Master.
all the rhythm games that like I really enjoy would require like some sort of special bizarre peripheral. It's like a
Well, that's
Yeah.
piano based rhythm game where you have a full like piano set and you're
What?
playing
Well, that's
in
actually
the right keys as they
well, that's one
played
of the
that. That
reasons
was pretty
why the Switch is really badass because it has a touchscreen. So like
Yeah.
like pretty much anything like adapts to it really well.
It's true, yeah.
And people keep trying to ruin that by being like, no, include a controller mode. Like, remember, I remember when, like, Vose came out as, like, a launch title, and it was touchscreen only, and people were like, you can't have a Switch game that's handheld only, which, in hindsight, LOL. I still don't get that mentality. I think handheld only makes a lot more sense than a game being, like, console only, but, you know, that's just me. But Vose like feels fantastic on the touchscreen because it was designed around it. When you add a controller, it feels like shit because it's easy baby mode.
Vose
Right.
is okay. It's okay.
I like Vose. It's good.
It's not that I don't like it. Just I guess the music that's there, I'm not fully on. Like it doesn't fully
my main
resonate
problem
with
with
me.
Vose is that it's one of those like rhythm games that's free. You've got like anything else basically, and then costs like full money on.
Yeah, but the Switch version is like objectively a better deal because you're getting like the entire roster of music for $20 as opposed to the 100 it would be on mobile.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so like it gets a pass.
It's just I think the weird way it's set out. I mean, I do want to try some more rhythm games. Like Groove Coaster, I'm sort of interested in now that I know it's out on the thing, although it is like 50 quid.
I still
do you
need to
have-
I still
Yeah.
need to do Taiko Drum Master and I still need to play more of that.
I've got Taiko
Oh,
Drum.
that
Master.
one's
I need to
great
play
too,
more of
yeah.
that. It's in my
Do-
cupboard right now. I should make
do
it
you
out.
have-
I tried to find the drum for that when I was in Japan last year. I
not a-
really wanted that.
It was just like, you know what? I never splurge on anything, so let's just spend £100 and get the full Switch drum kits.
Nanton, do you have an iPhone or?
I got an iPhone for work, and I have an Android for my personal use.
Okay, because what was it years ago, back when I was in high school, early high school, middle school, late middle school, freaking Groove Coaster is on iPhones. So if you want to like
Yeah.
try it out,
Yeah, it is.
it's like I think it's like $1. You can try it out there, or if you just get the Steam version, there's other songs that you'd have to buy, like but like for like the
Yeah.
base game, there's still some stuff.
I think it's a lot better with the controller, in my opinion. So if you're gonna get it somewhere, I mean, I guess it's up to preference because I played it on an arcade machine first, so I really liked how it controlled with joysticks.
Definitely some other good rhythm games is like Muse Dash. Me and Colin. I'm pretty sure Colin, you played it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Muse Dash is really good. I do wish that more like we're getting Project Diva now and like Groove Coaster. I do kind of wish that more companies would like bring just their arcade games in general over, or like just like either that or like do a web browser version, because there's a web browser version, an official web browser version of Taiko. And I was like, oh snap, I can finally play Taiko like officially. Yeah, there's a web browser version of Taiko.
I never knew that.
I'll link it.
What's that?
What's an underrated rhythm game on the Switch? Oh, actually, it's on the Switch yet. Shit, I'm going to check this first. Hey, Colin, you go ahead before I embarrass myself.
Well, I was gonna say we should wrap this up relatively soon, but I mean, like, there's like, what's that one game? There's like one arcade game that I played so much that I'm like I'm not a fan of anymore. But it'd be cool if they brought it to Gunslinger Stratos. That would be a pretty neat game to bring. It's a game where you have like two gun like motion controllers. They're kind of like they're like a hybrid Wiimote and nunchuck, but just like as one controller. But the thing is that they're both in the shape of guns, and they have magnets on it, and you can like stack them or combine them side by side to create new guns in game. And it's very fun, though I feel like its novelty kind of wears out pretty quickly, but a lot of people really like it.
There's one on PC, Gunslinger Shadows Reloaded.
It got shut down.
Ah.
Also, it's just not the same without the big motion controllers and all that fun stuff.
Unfortunate.
I found the game I was looking for. It's apparently getting a physical release, only $30.
What's it called?
I think it comes out July 31st. It's Avicii Invicta,
Oh yeah.
Avicii rhythm game. It's already out on PS4. It's actually apparently £15 on PS4. This game, I played it at GX, like as a laugh. I went to the loo and I came out and I saw Avicii Invicta. I just thought, sure, why not? Top quality. It's a really, really,
Yeah,
really
it was
good
like
game.
yeah, like there's a story behind it. It was like a big labor of love.
Invector,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry. It's there. It is a labor of love, and it's like it's a really fun rhythm game. I've been tempted to pick it up. I was waiting for the Switch version. Potentially, I might just grab it on PS4, considering it's already out and like 15 quid.
Why is this dude's face on the box art? But like looking at the game, it's so
'Cause that's-
drastically different.
Because that's
It's
Avicii.
Avicii.
Yeah.
Avicii on the
Oh,
box. It's a game. All the music is his music.
oh,
It
that's
works.
cool. That's
It
definitely really
works
cool.
really, really well. It's kind of a sort because the game has a somewhat sad story behind it because they like it, and then he like unfortunately passed away before they could even complete the game. So it's like a tribute to him. It's got all of his songs from like I think every single album but the latest one. But I remember speaking to the devs and they plan on adding that down the line when they can as DLC. But it's really, really good. You just fly this ship and like you can jump, shoot, move left and right. You flip around a thing, and it occasionally goes into sections where the beat drops, and it throws you off of the track, and you're then like flying through the air like me ship Star Fox style, going through rings and stuff. It's a bit. It reminds me a lot of Sayonara Wild Hearts, but a bit more of a.
I actually just bought that game the other day for an upcoming video I'll be doing.
Really?
So
it's a good game, that one.
So we'll see. And I guess at that we'll just wrap things up because we've hit the 2-hour mark. So I just want to thank everyone for joining us today, and also for being here. Hello to Spilled, who is fashionably late, and I'm sorry we're wrapping things up now. But I guess you'll have something to listen to for the next 2 hours. As always, below is links to all of our stuff, to our Twitters, to our Patreon, to our Discord, to our Twitters. Again, all the cool, fun things that you like to see. And we hope you guys have a good rest of the day, wherever you may be. Stay safe, stay sober, and yeah. See you next time.
Out.